We are
The world.
we are live. Hello,
We are
everybody.
the children.
Welcome to the internet.
We have fun and games.
We have Candy and Puppy
Hello.
Oh.
and Fluffy Georgie
That's
cats.
my cat.
That's a cat.
Okay, we've
That's
got
George
not
the cat.
we've got not so fluffy looking robots and a Sarge,
Snarge.
a fluffy
Snargimus.
Sarge.
Snargimus Prime. And in solidarity for Gizzard's buddy Paul Harrell, we got Drama Llama. Woo! Y'all gonna make me
Bum
lose
bum
my mind.
bum.
Up in here. I'm a Drama Llama. That's for you.
Drama la la llama. Dee 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 dee.
Woo!
Drama llama.
If you haven't watched Paul's hour-long slapdown, hop on Paul Harrell and watch that. That was an especially interesting. Like last couple of minutes of it, he got pretty hot and bothered on there.
Well, hot and bothered for as hot and bothered as Paul Harrell gets.
Yeah, that was pretty wound up for Paul. Yeah, for sure.
Hold on. Somebody open a sarsaparilla or a red cream soda there?
It's probably a Diet Beef Soda Zero.
Probably.
It's
I mean,
impossible. Our diet beef sodas all come with pre-suppressed pop tabs.
So
That way you can enjoy your beefy Diet Zero goodness without disturbing your neighbors.
Is that why it takes so long to get? Because you got to get a stamp for it, and you got to wait to do all the red tape.
No, it's somebody called the Department of Homeland Security, Cyber and Infrastructure and decided that Diet Beef Soda Zero production was vital and critical. However, our supply chain is not.
It happens.
Yeah.
You see, there was a dude in Florida, a rapper, a senator, I don't remember who it was, that's proposing a bill to make it so that if you apply for a suppressor, they have to have it to you in 90 days. They have to have it approved or disapproved within 90 days, or you get it just like the 3-day thing for Nick's. If you don't get a return an answer back in 3 days, you automatically get the go ahead. They want to do it for 90 days for suppressors.
90 days, same as cash, or your next one is free?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that would buy one, knowing that they could get it approved within 90 days versus 18 months, 16 months, or whatever it can take,
But the children and the evil rap music, think of the evil rap gangs trying to kill people quietly.
Yeah. Little.
I mean, the $4 million that we just spent on our shot spotter system will be completely useless.
Mm-hmm. But that would be a pretty cool one to see go through, and I think that's fair. I don't think there's anything. They're not saying within a week or two. They're giving them 3 damn months.
That's a long time.
Saying you should be able to clear somebody within 90 days. I think that's more than fair, more than ample.
Is that for suppressors?
For them
I
to do
missed the
something like
beginning of it.
Yeah, that was for suppressors. Yeah,
I heard all the other
I think it was a
ones.
dude.
All the other ones are electronic forms, and I'd heard those are down to up until the shutdown. I heard they were down to 30 days. When they
first opened up to doing e-forms, yeah, stuff, regardless of what it was taking maybe 90 days at the max. Mm-hmm. But then internet rumor is that they decided to not fund the people who are doing the e-forms as much, or decided not to expand it because they were so efficient at doing that, and just kept people doing regular paper forms. So it kind of, there's that little kind of like Freedom Week in California, where stuff was going really good. Then it was kind of, nope, business as normal.
To step on the back of your neck. Yeah, it's I mean, it would be a hell. And I think I'll tell you what. I think it is really, really smart that they did do a decent amount of time, like 3 months or something, because that makes it a lot harder to argue with. If you say, "Oh, you got to get this back to in 2 weeks," like nobody would go for that. They'd be like, "Why do you need a suppressor in 2 weeks? That's crazy. What are you planning to do? Something bad?" But 3 months. They'd be like, yeah, I mean, that's a long time to wait for something that you paid for, So hopefully that goes through, because that, I think, would be a really big boost for the industry. For suppressors, I think a lot more people would be willing to throw down the money. Now, I'm not sure, but does it depend on the shop whether you have to pay do you have to pay ahead of time, or can you do like installments?
You got to pay your tax stamp right away. You got to cut your $200 check to the IRS right away. Certain shops, who is it? Is it Silencer Co. who puts up like those kiosks? It really depends on who you're getting it from. Some will be like, well, okay, you put so much down for this or put so much down, we'll take care of all the paperwork. Just go get your fingerprints, your picture, and your note from your sheriff or your law enforcement saying, okay, or I acknowledge that you were doing this thing. Mm-hmm. And they'll take care of it. And some might ask for it up front, or some might wait until all the paperwork's gone through and cleared, and then you pay them then.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to do like an FX or a FN Tactical 45 with a suppressor for home defense. I'd love to have that. Would be awesome. Mm-hmm. That would be like my top. That's like my top home defense pistol that I would like. Because if you're going to suppress it anyway, might as well suppress a 45.
Yeah, you pretty much all the ammo you're going to buy, it's going to be subsonic unless it's like some hepped up stuff like the Golden Sabers or the real light like Underwoods. Yeah, so you should go and buy yourself a FNX 45 Tactical, get an RMR and a TLR2 put on it. Mm-hmm. Go through the rigmarole of getting a suppressor and get back to me so I can decide which suppressor to put on my FN.
Okay, cool. I'll get right on that. If the wife is listening, maybe she could start doing some Googling and get that stuff put into like a shopping cart online somewhere, and I'll just go rob a bank real quick. And as soon as I deposit that into my account,
midnight.
It'll be great.
You can't leave the house right now, remember?
The politically correct term is make a forcible withdrawal, not rob.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right.
Like on a Friday when they got a lot of cash on hand.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, they would have cash on hand if everyone wasn't getting electronically direct deposit. True. You run up to them with the computer, transfer all your digital currency onto this floppy drive for me.
Yeah.
Or this 6-inch floppy or 5-inch floppy or whatever. Speaking of 5-inch floppy, Moo's here tonight. How you doing, Moo?
Now is that internet inches?
Yeah, he's quiet too. He's muted. That's okay. Mm-hmm. He's muted. You got to unmute yourself.
I hit the button. God damn it! I said, "Did you want me to do the helicopter?"
I hit the button. It didn't work.
Damn thing.
No, doing good. Still packing up. Getting ready to move on Tuesday.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Make sure you pack up. Make sure they don't move any boxes with no viruses into your house before you get out of there.
Yeah, you might want to just go grab a couple of Bic lighters and a big can of Lysol and just kind of go to town on everything before you really move in.
Yeah, give everything a little torch up.
Like starter fluid.
Gizzard.
Better.
There you go. Yeah. Gizzard, what's going on, buddy?
The 6-inch floppy.
surviving the isolation as well as I can, man. Doing pretty well. Thanks for the invite.
Mm-hmm. So are you guys, I know you're working from home and stuff, but do you guys have a stay in place order or whatever it's called? Or are you
Yeah, the counties went into effect
or
on
not?
Monday, and the governor issued a statewide one that goes into effect tomorrow morning. So
Okay.
it's a whole state starting tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm waiting for us to catch it. I think we're pretty much on the verge of it because we've got a lot of nonsense going up in New York and New Jersey. So I wouldn't be surprised if we catch that too here pretty soon. But we'll see.
So what about
Hank, what's going on, buddy?
PA ban on alcohol sales?
What?
I didn't know they did that.
What did he say?
Ban on alcohol sales?
Never heard.
In Pennsylvania.
I didn't even hear about that. I'll look it up here. So what's up, Abe?
Oh, not a whole lot. As of 11:59 p.m. Friday evening, so like 2 days ago, the entire state of Minnesota is under a shelter-in-place advisory. Now, hold on. Let me get this actual correction. Emergency executive order directing Minnesotans to stay at home.
Stay at home order.
However, there is so many loopholes, it would make the anti-gunners blush. Yeah.
I mean, all you gotta do is say you're doing anything.
Well, here's the thing. I had to go out of town and out of my house so I could go file my tax shit. So I actually got to watch actual over-the-air television. And one of the news programs or regional news programs had up on there a list of things that you could still do. You can still go out and get groceries. You can still go out and drive for recreation. You can still go to public parks as long as you maintain a 6-foot distance. You can still go hunting. You can still go fishing. So once again, this is it's a whole lot of nothing.
You go to the gun store because we can do that too.
Yep. As a matter of fact, actually was at the gun store. When was that? Friday. Yeah, it would have been Friday. And talking to the guy there, and one of the customers asked, "So you guys going to be open on Monday?" He says, "Well, we're normally closed Monday anyway." Because the guy who runs it's kind of like semi-retired. It's just, they said, "Well, yeah, we'll stay open as long as they'll let us. Unless it gets like super crazy in here, then we'll probably just close it down to just a few people or just people from the PD wanting to get ammo." But no, they had a surprising. They were cleaned out pretty much of 9mm. They still had a fair amount of 223 and 5.56. A fair amount of 10mm, 44 Magnum. They were out of 38 Special and 357 Magnum. However, they had boxes, like not like a full case because, boxes and boxes of 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum just sitting on the floor, still in the large boxes sitting there. So, and they were still
neck them down for your Beowulf or something.
No.
Well, that's
no, and they were still.
That's not 500 Magnum.
Still had a fair amount of inventory in stock, but then again, this was kind of a smaller town compared to where all y'all live. But it's kind of one of the larger population centers in the, within an hour's drive. But
yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I think that's everywhere. It's definitely the small shops still have some stuff. I've been looking at some of the shops around me. They'll put up some Instagram posts and stuff, and some of them still have a pretty good supply. They just, and it seems like the prices are good. I have seen some stuff online where some online retailers have gotten stuff in, and they don't seem to be out of out of price, jacking up their prices or whatever, which is good. I think it's hopefully everybody learns from the shitstorm that is surrounding cheaper than dirt. They seem to still be at it. I don't know. I haven't gone on and looked at their site to see if their prices are still as crazy as they were or not, but I would imagine they are. Once you do it, you might as well.
I don't know. Did they recover from the 4chan attack yet?
I don't know what happened on 4chan.
When was this? Was it Monday or something? Or I heard in passing sometime during the week that someone said that Cheaper Than Dirt ended or was either still going through or trying to get back up from a DOS, denial of service attack, and what they figured out so far was that it originated from some people or some group on 4chan. Just basically, they got all their little robots all lined up together and say, "Hey, everyone, go onto this website and try and crash it through a sheer amount of traffic."
Huh. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man.
What they got, what they deserved if that happened.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't sell the damn thing. It's just not right. But Sarge, what's going on, buddy?
Somebody was bitching about PSA.
What did PSA do? I've heard some of their prices. Their prices aren't out of line.
I've heard that
they've some prices up a couple of bucks.
Somebody was bitching about their ammo prices today.
Well,
I didn't look into it.
I know.
It was on their Facebook
I've heard
page.
a couple of their ammo prices, and I've heard a couple of their prices for their mags, and it seems like they've increased, like a buck or two or something like that. But I can definitely go along with the company raising up a little bit of pricing. They're going to have to replace their stock. I mean, I think it's true. I mean, if PP Park says Cheaper Than Dirt is about their morals, not their prices. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're going to have to replace their stock. So, I mean, I can definitely see, increasing some prices in a time like this. A couple of bucks, for a mag, or a couple of bucks for, a box of ammo.
Now, I hadn't heard anyone.
But I think it's tough.
Anyone bitching about their prices. I have heard a couple of people bitching about the fact that they put up or their little banner saying, "Due to increased demand, your orders may take up to 4 weeks before we can ship them," kind of thing.
Fine,
and then I've also heard
that's up to you as a consumer.
Yeah.
I just looked at it. It says 10 days.
Okay. Yeah. Oh wait, that was Midway. I'm thinking about, because I still get a Midway flyer. And right on on like Monday, and the big thing on the front one was, "Oh, hey, free shipping and no hazmat charge on $150 worth of primers, powders, stuff that would require hazmat." You go onto their website, or had a guy call them up because he tried adding stuff to the cart and it charged them all that, and it said, or they called them up and said, "Well, yeah, all of our specials and pricing and everything, that's off for now. We're not doing any promotions or anything just because of all the shit." Well, here's the thing. I mean, we got the two. As G-Webs would put it, we've got the old media here of, you got to print up. You got to first decide what you're going to have on sale, print it all up. It's going to take at least a day or two for the mail to get there, and by the time it's all there, if the sale starts on Monday, all the people on the internet get the stuff anyway.
Yeah, I don't know though. I think that if you have something printed up, I don't know, man. I feel like you're pretty stuck with that. You know what I mean? I know
if you put a date on it, you are stuck with it.
Right. That's what I mean. It's not
how much was PSA selling a case for? How much was PSA selling a case of 9mm for? How much were they selling it for before this happened?
Pacifist out there. Gun-toting pacifist is saying 309 for 1,000 lasers.
Yeah, I was asking
9mm,
before this happened.
I've seen it where they've had it on like their daily deals where that's where people mostly buy it anyway. It might have been like 300 or 250, or like 250 or 300 with like 5 Glock mags or something like that, or ETS mags.
Well, I've seen it for like 289 and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, I'd seen it for $200 before this for a case of 9mm, and now it's 309. So that they have increased 50%. That's a little more than a few bucks.
Well, I don't think it's 50. Well, no, yeah,
it is 50%.
50%. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
it's actually 55%, but that's a little much.
Well, you can only weather
acceptable.
I mean, as a retailer, you can only weather, having stuff at a certain price for so long during something like this before it's, hey, we're out, we can't get any more, or what we can get is that, or it's increased that much. So it's either we don't have anything, in which case we're not going to get that ancillary traffic of, okay, someone came in and they want 9mm. They're like, oh, hey, you've also got Glock mags, or you've got that widget I need. I'm going to add that to my cart. It's just, okay, they're out 9mm. Go check ammobear.org or whatever. So.
Yeah, and I know.
Lockjaw is out there. 179 for 1,000, and that's what I paid the last time. Lockjaw.
I think it's hard to say what's a fair increase and what's not. I mean, it's hard. I don't know the business. I'm not involved with anything, so I mean, I don't know. It's hard to judge it, I guess. I'm not going to try and say what's good and what's acceptable and what's not. I mean, is 50% too much? I don't know. Maybe it is.
Well, according to
it sounds like a lot, but I don't know.
To the governor and the attorney general of Minnesota, anything that's over a 20% increase of what it was 30 days ago is considered price gouging.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they passed that into law.
I wonder if they could.
Executive order.
I wonder if you can stipulate.
Is it appropriate for me to plug that we're only increasing prices 19% on gearwebsites.com?
Sure.
Well, I thought you were
under the legal limit.
Well, now, G-Webs, here's the question: were there extenuating circumstances that your thread or batch backing increased that same amount of price in the same amount of time?
Yes.
Okay, then you're golden, because that's the other loophole that they have in there is, if you just gouge it up, but if you have the receipt from your supplier saying, hey, this glow-in-the-dark thread, the price shot up 50%, I got to increase my patch price 50% to cover this glow-in-the-dark thread, you're golden.
I wonder if there's a stipulation with that. I wonder if there's a stipulation with that markup if your incoming cost has been increased. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it seems to me that, like, if you're working on percentages, then, if your increased cost is coming in, like, it shouldn't be a flat 20% more. It should be a 20%. It should be a percentage above your incoming cost. You know what I mean? I wonder if there's a thing like that. That would make more sense, because I mean, obviously, if your incoming cost triples, you're gonna buy it and sell it. They shouldn't expect you to sell it at a loss.
No, it's. Let's see. What does this order here say for exceptions? Blah 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 blah.
Well, you're looking up, Sarge. What's going on?
Hey, what's up?
What's happening? What do you got going on lately?
I filmed a couple videos today. I got out on the range early, and I'm going out on the range again tomorrow. And hashtag Tiger King.
I know.
That's all I can say.
Holy smokes.
Now, are you all the way through it,
Right.
Sorge?
I've started back through it again.
Oh, okay.
G, what's going on?
Not much. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, Tiger King. I started to watch last night, and ended up staying up through like 4 episodes or something, 5 episodes. I could not stop watching that crazy shit. And finished it up listened to it today while I was doing some stuff around the house and playing with the little guy. Kind of had it going. It is captivating. It's 7 hours of total craziness. It's like
Debauchery.
it's just it's crazy. It's so nuts. It doesn't make sense that this shit could actually happen. Lockjaw says Tiger King. I couldn't turn it off for sure. And what's nuts is you're watching it and you start thinking that like one of the characters, is like normal. You think like, oh, this guy's pretty okay. This guy's pretty. Maybe he's like just kind of a rough guy, but he's normal. No, he ain't normal. None of them are normal. They keep going back. They keep going back in time. Kind of. They'll go back in time, and next thing you know, this dude's some kind of crazy sociopath. It's crazy. It's nuts.
I saw one. Have you seen all the memes and all the tweets?
I really haven't, no, but now that I've watched it, I'm sure my Instagram will have, known that I watched it, and they'll start throwing that shit at me.
What's the one ex-husband's with the really big gaps in his teeth? I saw one that had a picture of him. It said, "It's hard to believe that this guy isn't even in the top 10 of interesting people in this documentary."
I know. What's so funny? I laughed though. I laughed. It made me laugh because they started talking about the drug use and all the stuff. They started talking about the drug use
of meth
and meth, right? And the one, I don't know if it was a doctor or somebody that was talking. Like I said, I was listening to it. And I was kind of listening, and then I'd watch it for a minute, 2 or whatever. But they started talking about meth, and they're like, yeah, they don't know why, and something about meth, and it goes to your teeth, and they call it meth mouth. And next thing you know, they show that guy smiling. He's got like a jack.
Oh, that's straight up legit.
I'm like, oh my god,
his teeth are practicing social distancing.
You need to either you do it or I'm going to do it. You need to get that on Instagram. You need to picture him.
Did you see the picture that I made tonight?
No.
On Instagram? You got to go to my Instagram and look at the picture I made tonight. I outdid myself.
Right. Okay, well, let's see what we got here.
There.
I didn't see it. We'll go on there right now. I'll take a look.
Okay, how's the lag now?
Everything's lagged. I was going to hit refresh.
There you go.
Share it.
Yeah.
Nice touch. With Oklahoma. I love it.
There you go.
That's him.
He needs to be. You need to get on there and take a picture of that dude smiling, and then put underneath it. My teeth aren't. I don't have meth mouth. My teeth are social distancing. It'll go viral.
My toothpicks.
Teethies.
I'm gonna hit refresh. I'm gonna see if this thing fixes.
My twofers. Yeah.
Ooh, disconnect.
I had a terrible
Great
lag on
connect.
this end.
Live streaming.
Okay, now here's a question
Terrible.
for you.
Trouble.
It says, what did you just send right here? Oh, that's the one you sent me. So Seven Wonders says, Hope Western North Carolina is doing better. 3 counties, including Wake, have declared that gun shops and ranges are not essential. So how can once again, didn't Trump decide that gun shops are essential businesses?
Heard he did.
I heard
Like,
that it was stated as firearms industry, but I haven't looked too hard, but I didn't see anything stating specifically what they consider firearms industry. Are they talking manufacturers, FFLs?
Both.
well, it makes no sense. I don't understand how it can be declared essential federally, and I mean it's just like any other gun law, I guess. They just do what they want, but how can that be allowed? Doesn't make sense.
No, aren't technically governors not supposed to be able to declare or do the orders that they've been doing anyway?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they all went, well, what's his face in New York's getting away with having this entire city being this. I think we can get away with it.
Right. During, what's anybody going to do from a federal level? But after, it's what you hold them accountable for and what there's consequences all about, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's if there's people left that aren't, the ones locked up in Cheyenne Mountain.
Who's been locked up because of this? Probably no one.
No one. No, even like...
You mean locked up because they were out at curfew or whatever?
Yeah, they're just trying to regulate common sense is what they're trying to do.
I think it's fines right now, from what I've heard. If you're out and they don't, like those 50 people that were at a party, there's a fine, right? They didn't lock them up. That would be it. That would be the opposite of what they're trying to do anyway. Hey, don't be at this party.
Yeah, right.
People were putting you in jail.
I mean, the reason New York has blown up is because the people won't listen up there. That's why it's blown up. A certain section of the population can't be told what to do. They've been historically and back since biblical times been treated poorly, and no one can tell them what to do, and that's why it's blown up. So, from what I've been told by some of my relatives that live up there, they caught some of them still going to school. They hid in the school and were still going to class, even though they shut down the schools. Like 150 people. And this is why it's flourishing and why they're taking themselves out. It's not good. It's not good at all.
Yeah, getting onto the fines and that. Even here, they.
Don't some of those schools have like a television system or some way that they can broadcast like an announcement throughout the school? They should just play these podcasts, not like 24/7, and no one will hang out in the school.
It seems like
it's like one of those sonic pest detect things that make the bugs and stuff run off or make the deers run away.
Yeah, it's because the kids can hear the higher frequencies and the old fogies can, so they usually mix it in with like music that younger kids don't like, so it kind of just not nudges them away.
You got to worry about the old people with this one, though. They're the ones trying to flee the virus, hiding in the schools.
Yeah, but they go home and see their grandparents and kill them.
How do you know that's not their plan?
It kind of goes along. There's a story that kind of goes along with this a little bit. Truth about guns. Why we sued to open New Jersey gun stores. 700 New Jersey cops test positive for COVID-19. Published reports that some Yeah, published reports that some 700 New Jersey police officers have tested positive for the coronavirus, and our quarantine underscores the importance of the Second Amendment Foundation's lawsuit to require the state to open gun stores. This is exactly why the Foundation lawsuit to force New Jersey to reopen gun stores during this emergency is so important, said the SAF founder and executive vice president Alan Gottlieb. People need to be able to obtain the means of self-defense in times such as these. This is why the right to keep and bear arms is essential. Yeah, what happens when all the cops get called off, right? They're out there dealing with the damn public that's sick. They're on the front lines of this stuff getting sick. The revelation by acting state police. Let me screen share this. Screen share it, I guess, while I'm reading it. This is exactly whether blah blah blah. Sorry. The revelation by acting state police superintendent Colonel Patrick Callahan came Saturday during a daily press briefing on the COVID-19 outbreak. This stunning report should surprise nobody, Gottlieb said, because police interact with scores, if not hundreds of people. It would defy odds if none became infected, and assurances by the authorities that they still have the manpower to respond to emergencies don't mean much to people when crimes are happening right now and police are several minutes or longer away. Well, there's a hell of a face. That guy looks, oh shit. Yeah. It's New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. I just think I shit myself. So, Governor Murphy needs to understand the Second Amendment wasn't written for duck hunters, he observed. The right to keep and bear arms is enshrined in the Constitution to assure every citizen has the means to defend himself and herself, while help may not arrive in time, or maybe not at all. We pray for the recovery of all those stricken Garden State police officers, Gottlieb said.
Now, Ozark in the chat brings up an interesting question for you. Do you think that they closed down the shops in New Jersey because someone was trying to sneak in a truckload of Hornady critical defense?
Yeah, after that, all that talk about that dude the other week, yeah.
What dude?
What happened?
What happened? I'm sorry, I had to go out and walk my dog.
I heard something about it, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
I don't
something
remember
about
this.
A guy that drank fish bowl cleaner or something. So there you go. I mean, that's another story is Georgia lawmaker wants to suspend requirements for concealed carry during coronavirus crisis. Atlanta, Georgia. Midway through another week of the China virus scare, millions of gun owners have been affected by the closing of sheriff's offices across the country. With the sheriff's office closed, all concealed carry permitting has ground to a standstill. For states that require a permit to purchase, those gun owners are also out of luck. But one Georgia state representative, Matt Gertler, a Republican from Turger, 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 Georgia, has another alternative. Closed sheriff offices leave gun owners high and dry without the ability to complete all the paperwork and pay fees that would give them permission to protect their families and their homes. Gertler said, why not do the opposite? Suspend the rules in favor of gun owners. Gertler is proposing that the state of Georgia suspend the concealed carry paperwork during the corona crisis. It is imperative that we suspend the enforcement of those weapons licenses, Gertler said. While so many state governors are taking advantage of emergency powers to suspend elections or the right to assemble, why not have the governor of Georgia use those same powers to override the constitutional carry laws? And Governor Brian Kemp's emergency powers were at least granted to him by the Georgia State Assembly, who approved Kemp's executive order. The General Assembly met on March 16th for a special session to approve Kemp's assumption of emergency powers. All that to say, the legislators have already given Kemp a green light to change the rules as he goes. Why not use that to gun owners' advantage instead of their disadvantage? Gertler agreed. We need to suspend enforcement, especially during the state of emergency when so many individuals need to be able to defend themselves and their families and their loved ones and their property. Gertler said that his constituents don't see how the current response has been constitutional. After all, none of the paperwork and fees and classes were required when the Constitution was written. Just because we've added extra requirements since that time doesn't mean that we have to keep them. The only thing that must be kept, Gertler explained, the Second Amendment says, shall not be infringed, and we believe that that is a no compromise statement, Gertler said. Anti-gun Democrats are horrified, of course. So, yeah. So there you go. At least somebody's pushing back in the opposite direction of some of the. They talk about constitutional carry. So there you go. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
SAF applauds Trump administration for essential ruling on gun shops. That's what we were talking about earlier. This is an awful long. This is again. Gottlieb is Alan Gottlieb has some quotes in it. The president and his administration have done the right thing, Gottlieb said. They are dealing with a national emergency while remembering that no malady, however severe, can nullify or even temporarily suspend the exercise of a constitutionally delineated fundamental right. So that was. So let me think here. Declaring that American gun owners owe President Donald Trump a very big thank you. The Second Amendment Foundation today is cheering the announcement from the Department of Homeland Security defining firearms manufacturers and retailers as essential businesses. So there you go. So manufacturers and retailers. So how places are...
Hooray.
Yeah. So how places are shutting down, that should be going against a federal declaration, I guess you would call it, right? Did you guys hear? I'm sure you guys heard Biden's last flub, the one about the cure. Did you guys hear this one when he was on The View?
No, but I can't wait.
Oh my God. So I'm having some trouble. I'm not sure why my audio is not playing through, but it's a quick quote. So basically, he was via internet or whatever. He was on The View, I guess. And let me find it here. I lost the exact quote. Shoot. Boy, hold on. This site is super, super weird. Hold on. This website is acting very odd.
All right, while he's doing that, good evening, boys and girls.
Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
Sorry I'm late. Not much. Selling guns.
Bull.
All right. So, what the hell is... I've got like two overlapping... All right. So she said, are you at all concerned, as Trump said, that we cannot let the cure be worse than the problem itself? Asked the host. Biden quickly responded, we have to take care of the cure. That will make the problem worse no matter what. No matter what, we know what has to be done.
What?
That's exactly, yeah.
We must take care of the cure. We have
to
take care of the cure. The cure will make
the
problem worse.
Yeah, he said we have to take care of the cure. That will make the problem worse no matter what. No matter what, we know what has to be done, said Biden. So he says,
Paging
we
Dr.
know
Howard,
you have to...
Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard of the Alzheimer wing.
Yeah. quote, "We know you have to. You're tired of hearing the phrase, you have to." Wait, oh man, I can't even. Well, this is rough. We know you have to. You're tired of hearing the phrase, you have the flatten that curve where it's going up like this, people getting, and it comes down. Biden continues, we got to flatten that curve. So that's a dude running for president.
That some people are speculating that the Dems might just decide, no, we're not having you anymore. We're going to pull something out of our butt at the end of the beginning of the convention.
You think?
I try not to. It hurts my head.
Well, they're talking about Cuomo too. Lots of people are talking about Cuomo. Yeah.
Like somebody not even running, they may pick them. I know they can. I know that. But is that like the talks?
Yeah, that's scuzzlebutt for sure. Scuttlebutt. Yeah, a lot of people talking about that. About
way
him
to alienate
because of the way he's.
I know, but way to alienate everyone that has already voted. That they just took away whatever they voted. That would completely alienate their own party. Right. Good for them.
I don't know. Didn't they do the same thing with
just can we do
was it Wilson?
Get a Dewey over?
Was it Woodrow Wilson or one of the? Oh no! Wait, it was the guy who lost to. I think he lost to Coolidge. They couldn't come together. They had to split convention and just picked a person in the middle of the road that nobody actually voted for. Yeah. So on
Sarge, do you watch? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to bring up for everybody who's panicking out there in the Rhode Island, New York, and New Jersey area, who's panicking about the National Guards or have heard the rumors of the National Guard going around in Rhode Island and checking license plate and talking to people from New York. It's pretty much, if they see your plates from New York, they're going to go up to the house it's in front of and simply say, hey, please stay inside. They're not rounding people up, so chill the F out.
They should stay inside for 14 days.
Yes.
Because that's the hot zone.
Yeah, that's the whole thing that love them, hate them, or ignore them. Tim Pool was freaking out because, Trump had suggested that we were going to close down New Jersey or the hell that other stuff. Chilled the F out, even though New York and New Jersey just need to dig a ditch and float away. Otherwise, go ahead.
Sarge, do you watch Donut Operator?
I have. I have watched
on
him.
YouTube.
Not recently, but I have watched him.
He put out a video today of a shooting, a cop being shot by a kid, and it's badge cam. It's crazy. You got to watch. You should watch his. I'm going to show a clip of the actual shooting.
Was that the one with the 12 gauge slugs?
Yeah. Did you see that one?
I did.
Dude,
I didn't see it yet.
Fucking crazy. So this kid got in trouble for something. I don't remember what he did. I can't remember. Something pretty. I mean, he's been in trouble in the past. I want to say he was like 17 years old. He was real young. Still living at home, and did something which, if I remember correctly, it was something small, like some kind of theft or something. I don't remember.
Theft under 1,000.
So the cop shows. So I don't know. So the cop shows up at the house, and the mom comes to the door, and she says, announce themselves, and it's a police officer at the door, and then there's another one at the side of the house. You know what I mean? So they're separate, and he's looking at the door also, the doorway also, obviously. And the mom comes to the door, and they have their dogs out. I guess they have a couple of big dogs. Oh, Consolidated 77.6 says he stabbed a guy. Oh, I didn't realize it was that. Oh, no. Held a knife to somebody. You're right. Yeah, Ozark says held a knife to somebody. That's right. That's what it was. He did. He robbed somebody or something. So the mom has these dogs out, and she says, "Oh, hold on, let me put the dogs away." And the cop says, "Okay, go ahead." So she closes the door, goes to put the dogs away, and when she opens the door back up, as soon as she takes like one step into the doorway to come outside, you see the kid come from behind her with a 12-gauge shotgun and ends up putting 4 slugs into this fucking cop. I mean, close range.
I don't want to watch that.
What's that?
I don't want to watch that. Who would want to watch that?
Oh, you're not. You can't.
He lived.
It's from the badge cam. It's not like nah. It's not. It's just.
He lived, but at what cost?
Yeah, he lived.
Several broken ribs and a couple of ruptured organs.
So hopefully.
I mean, Kevlar's a wonderful thing, but you still got to dissipate that energy, and that energy is going into your body.
So it hit him in the vest?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the first cop takes a couple of 2 shots or 3 shots of it before. I mean, it was quick. You know what I mean? It was a pistol grip pump, and he actually had a pistol grip, a vertical pistol grip on the pump too. So I mean, he got off a couple of shots real quick, and then he goes to stand over top of the cop because obviously the cop hit the ground, and goes to shoot him with a 5th shot, and then the other cop takes him down. The other cop fired 13 rounds and hit him with 12.
Good job.
Shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was amazed. I mean, 12 out of 13 rounds hit this kid. I mean, that dude was, accuracy under pressure. You know what I mean?
And one of the shots was right through his dome.
Yeah.
Now, when Yankee and Matt talk about it, they'll ask why they were even there, and they'll say the other cop got him 1 out of 13 times.
Well,
right.
It's
Anyway.
just
What are you saying?
The video. Yeah. G, what's up?
I was just going to say something about the effectiveness of 9mm, but go ahead.
So are you saying this individual had his 12-gauge loaded with 9mm?
No, it took 13 9mm to bring the guy down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, you probably
back in the
45
day.
ACP.
All right, we're all talking over G-Webs.
Back in the day, just the 1911's presence would have prevented all this from happening.
Yeah, if they were carrying a 45, the kid probably would have pooped himself and ran out the back door, huh?
They had a respect.
But
didn't happen. They had respect for the 45 ACP.
That's right. It's just so fast. To me, it's amazing. Like, obviously, I'm not a police officer. I've never, done something, gone to somebody's house like this. But the speed that this happens is amazing to me. I mean, it goes from the mom taking a step out the door, and it takes a second. I mean, it's literally like a second, and this cop's shot. It's nuts. I mean, there's no defending against it.
And the dude shoots like right past his mother's ear with a 12-gauge slug.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. That shotgun had to be 6-8 inches away from the side of her head.
Yeah.
Yeah. She ain't gonna have any hearing in that ear probably forever, I would imagine, because it was a short barrel 12-gauge too.
Oh, and PTSD. She witnessed the most horrific thing anyone could ever care to witness.
Yeah.
She saw her son try to murder someone, and then she saw her son get shot down in a hail of bullets. I mean, that's the most horrific thing anyone could ever experience, in addition to the concussion and the ruptured eardrum and all that. That person is just
should have shot him in the
mentally
leg.
ruined.
Plus, this is out of nowhere, right? Like she was what was the scenario? She was answering the
Well,
door.
if this kid's been in that much trouble, she had an idea.
Well, that's what I mean. I think like he'd been in trouble before. So when the cops showed up at the house, she was probably like, "Oh shit, what did he do now?"
Certainly didn't say, "Hey, we're going to be here at 11 p.m. to have this gunfight over your shoulder."
No,
Right.
That's
right. Yeah. So
no.
She went and put in one of those little wax earplugs right before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, if you're going to play it, I'm going to go walk the dog. I don't care about seeing this. I'll be back.
That's fine. Just my thing is I'm just amazed by the speed of this, and that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's just seconds. The whole thing.
Usually not slow.
Seconds, probably 4
Right on.
4 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, from the beginning, yeah. Oh, it's immediate. Here she comes.
Yeah, right there.
Bam.
That's it.
Look at it comes over her left shoulder.
Mm.
Well, I'm not going to second guess anybody.
Maybe,
but this is why you don't let people go back into the house unaccompanied.
no kidding.
Should have stood
Right.
at least in the doorway or something. You'd have a little bit more reaction time, and then you could try to get out of the door. Something.
My other problem with that is he shouldn't have been squared off on the door like that either.
Yeah,
He
the
should
fatal
be
funnel.
one side or the other. Yep, one side or the other, but not squared off on the door.
Yep.
Yeah, Dead Horse says the same. I thought the same thing too. I was like, holy shit, the mom's wearing a Punisher sweat hoodie. I'm like, Jesus, of all things to be wearing. I thought
She may have been in on
She
it.
should have.
Yeah.
She should have had a cool 100 hanging out of her mouth.
But it was, yeah, I can't believe the guy. I mean, it's one of the most amazing things I think I've ever heard in my life that the cop is alive and he's in stable condition. Like, what chance?
Oh, and that guy was ready to do the coup de grace right on him right there when the guy was the other officer was shooting him.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
yeah,
millisecond
if that
away.
other cop would have missed. Well, and that's the thing. If that second cop would have missed, he missed one shot. I mean, what if he missed the first shot? You know what I mean? What if the first shot?
Maybe
would have
two
been
of the
missed,
bullets
which
went through the
probably-
same
maybe it
hole.
was, I don't know, but
Right.
oh, maybe he didn't miss any. Oh, brown chicken, yeah. But you know, what if that cop misses a shot and that kid still gets to pull that trigger that fifth time? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
It sounds
But-
like he just. It sounds
Yeah,
like
what
he
if-
went.
You froze up there for a second, Sarge.
Yeah,
He
I
went-
didn't
what?
hear you. Say it again.
Sounds like he went to work and didn't stop till it was over. He just started putting
Right.
down range and got it done.
Yeah,
Until he
How
Like
long
fell
did it
down.
take him to fire those 13? Probably just
2
a
seconds.
couple seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quick. It was.
That's why it's not a bad
it was
idea to
quick.
practice some rapid fire stuff every once in a while. Every once in a
Yeah.
while, it's not a bad
Oh,
idea
shit.
to see if you can get him into a pie plate sized target or something. Instead of worried
Mhm.
about pinpoint,
Yeah.
try and get him onto a bigger target and get them all on there.
Well, I'll tell you too. When
That's
you're
why.
when you're. Go ahead.
That's why I keep trying to talk these cops. And actually, we had this last match we had 3 of the deputies shoot the match, and they're learning real quick because they're using their dirty guns. They're learning real quick, you know, how to shoot fast and keep things accurate and keep it tight.
Yeah. Yeah, like what they taught us was if you can shoot the size of your hand, you're golden. And as quick as you can shoot the size of your hand, if you can cover all the rounds, is as quick as you need to be shooting. And when they get bigger than that, you're shooting too fast. And so if they're getting smaller than that, you're shooting too slow. Shoot them the size of your hand and get them all out there and get them on target.
So, with you guys and your duty guns, Do you try and keep a round count, and then do routine maintenance and routine like spring changes and that kind of stuff, or do you just shoot until you feel like until you have like some sort of issue, and then diagnose the issue and change parts out or whatnot? Because I would think like when you start getting up there in round count, it would make me nervous to carry a gun like that. Maybe for your duty gun.
Well, my Glock 22 has been taken down once and inspected in 8 years. So I don't know when they're going to replace them. I'm really hoping we're going to get a 9mm soon, but some of ours are at that need to be replaced by now. But
I forgot who did it. There was a guy probably about 10 years ago doing a blog on doing an endurance test on various different guns. And this isn't like what you see Iraq 88888888 do or Tim do, or Military Arms Channel do. It was, I'm going to shoot it, going to shoot matches, I'm going to clean it, do regular maintenance and that on it, and then once this thing either completely fails, so stuff like routine maintenance, like changing out your recoil spring or your guide rod or that, and I think he got, I want to say, well north of 100,000 rounds out of a Gen 3 Glock 17.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only thing that beat that was a H&K 45. But then again, that's a data point.
Yeah, I just didn't. I mean, I would think, in my head, like if you routinely change certain parts at certain intervals, like I've been through 10,000 rounds, I'm going to change these couple of parts out. You could actually end up making it less reliable doing that. I would imagine too. Maybe you're fixing something that ain't broke. I don't know. I just didn't know if that was something that ran through you guys' heads because,
I mean, I've had mine for 8 years and it's fine. Yeah, sorry. We got a lag here. I don't mean to talk over anybody. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
Yeah, there's
a
couple of people are having trouble today for sure. It's weird. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, the only thing with our county and city departments around here, the only thing they do change out, we got the mags every 2 years, and we change out the mag springs. Other than that, internals, every year we take them down, inspect them, give them a thorough clean. I mean, we take the slides apart, break everything down to bare stock, clean everything, and put it back together again. Because there's only like 3 or 4 of us that are allowed to actually do that within the departments.
Yeah, you've got to be an armorer
outside the
like
department.
Glimtech to be able to do that. You're not allowed to take your gun apart other than just a field strip as just a regular officer. You have to be an armorer to go any further.
Yep. So we do that on a regular yearly basis. Strip them all down, clean them all up, put them back together again. The only exception to changing extra parts out is if we have like the guys that are shooting on a regular basis. If they're putting 3,000 or 4,000 rounds down a year, then we'll consider doing a spring swap out. After 2 years or so, or depending.
So you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to do anything. Well, you are. You're saying, but a normal officer isn't allowed to do anything more than like general field stripping and cleaning of his gun.
No, like my guns that I take apart and do a trigger job or do anything I want to completely disassemble it. I cannot do that to my duty gun at all.
Right.
That would be
what about your backup gun?
You did it to a duty gun or your backup gun that you're using on duty. I guarantee you're going to get a vacation if you get caught with it.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to do anything with my backup gun.
I'd be like, I don't like the wheels on my cop car, so I put mags on there.
Mm-hmm.
spinners. You
pretty
get them
much
Jetforce
everything.
spinners.
I got those James Bond wheels with a little thing that comes out of the center of the tire going wah wah wah, so I don't have to do a pit maneuver.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. And it's not mine. This is the way they want them, and this is I can't do anything to it other than the armor. Armors and the firearms instructor, the lead firearms instructor, has a lot of say as to what goes on in an agency, and Glimtech can back that up. They have a lot.
Absolutely. Yep. They're it.
So
they outrank the sheriff or the chief.
Yeah, they may not even rank, but the lead firearms instructor, they have a lot of pull.
So do you think that's a lot? Do you think they do that more because it's a liability issue for the public if they change their spring pressures and their trigger pulls and stuff like that, or do you think it's more of a liability for the department because they might put their gun together wrong or do something that causes a malfunction?
I think it's both.
I wonder which one they're looking at.
Yep.
Yeah, probably both.
Both.
How many times have you
I
seen
wonder which
somebody...
one. I wonder which one that.
Both. How many times have you seen somebody fool with a Glock and not get the mag catch spring under that pin and it locked the slide back every time because they didn't get it? They put the pins in the wrong order. They didn't get the little spring under the mag catch or under the pin to keep the mag catch down. What if that happens in real life and they go to shoot it and it locks back after one shot?
Funny you mentioned that because I just did a transfer. That's why I was late. I was doing a transfer. A guy got two Gen 4 Glocks on police trade-ins in 40 S&W. The one functioned fine. The other one, every time you pulled the slide,
it's amazing.
It had not to mention the fact that it had one of those Philly triggers in it. Or the New York trigger. Yeah, the New York.
Oh, like the 12-pounder or whatever.
The 1,500 pound trigger pull. Yeah. But yeah, I'm sitting there going, and every time you rack the slide, lock it back. Take the flashlight, go click up. Yep, there it is. They didn't put it back together right.
Well, I hope he was able to get a good deal on that quote unquote malfunctioning Glock. Like, oh, well, yeah, I'll give you full price for this one that works, but this one, something's broken on it. I'll only give you like $20 for it.
Yeah, it could be a cheap find for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got
shot Glock. That's California.
Yeah, he got to it. Well, they both came from Pennsylvania, so I'm assuming they were from out that neck of the woods somewhere. But they were 40 trade-ins.
Who needs more than one shot? There you
go.
Everyone who wants one.
That guy that shot the 12 gauge guy.
Yeah, he needed 13. I wonder what he was using. Federal pop-ups. Bullshit pop-ups. Federal Ammunition donates N95 masks to local hospitals. There you
go. So I wonder where federal...
I heard something about there was a California rule that something like a organization or a company or a building or anything that would have more than so many people in it had to have so much emergency equipment. And that's why like Apple and Google and all these companies that are housed in California are able to give like a whole bunch of masks to hospitals and stuff. You heard about this?
No, I didn't hear that they had some sort of law like that. I know they did. I know they did donate a bunch of masks, but I didn't realize it was because they were required to keep so many. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
There was one that I read that,
it was more for like environmental conditions, like for an emergency locally, not for a virus, but since they work for both, they're able to.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought that was in California where they actually came in and they actually required those small businesses that had that equipment to turn it in and turn it over to give it to the hospital so the hospitals had stuff to use.
Oh, like if it was mandated, if you got your mandated supplies, turn them over?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Not even that. It was they just went in and they just said, look, if you have this stuff, you need to put it in a box and turn it over because we need it.
Yeah. I like it better if it was like, if you got this much stuff, then you get like this much off on taxes or you get some kind of credit for something, but I don't like any of that.
Or if you have this stuff and you currently have no employees or running a skeleton shift, please consider doing this.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. In an emergency, I'm just saying, in a normal amount of time when it's not crisis, to say like, hey, you don't need this stuff. It's not going to be a law, but it would be smart. We think it would be smart, so you'll get some kind of tax break if you have it. And then in the times of crisis like this, yeah, not mandated, but say, hey, if you're not using it, you don't have a bunch of people over there. We made you have stuff, or we asked you to have stuff for like maximum capacity of your auditorium or something. But if you're not at maximum capacity, how about you lend the hospital nearby? The thing is, people are looking at this like it's dire. Like there are so many resources and we're using them all up. Like there's a pie and we're eating the rest of it right now. But what's really going to happen is there's going to be time after all this. And in that time, people are going to start like stockpiling masks and stuff. And these things that are in shortage right now won't be in shortage in the future, right?
Hopefully.
So that's what we'll see is, well, I mean, hopefully, of course they won't be. Like, what kind of idiot would go forward and be like, nah, we don't need masks. Who really needs masks? This was
I don't know. Wasn't it? Who is it? Wasn't the news?
Yes, the news that we had repetitive waves of epidemics that barely ever splashed the things. And here we're seeing a big wave that comes in and clears the beach. After a beach clearing event, people change their minds. Yes, I agree with you that for a long time things have been neglected, but there's no reason to assume that going forward they're going to again neglect it. I don't think that's possible. And plus, who cares? We're not talking about CDC or New York like health department. We're talking about like things like Walmart. We're talking about things like, just companies that need them. Think about all the clean rooms and all the companies that are making stuff that need those masks for like what they're really for. Just being in an environment where you need clean rooms, which is a lot of equipment manufacturing and things. So for those places that are going to be able to do work, but going to be frustrated because they have to wait for masks for health reasons, all those companies are going to be strategically, we're never going to let this happen again. So they're all going to keep a bunch of masks. And once they've all got a bunch of masks for their own personal or selfish self-interest, then we created a country where this shortage can't happen because people will, out of charity and interest in others and their own goodwill or their own interest, they're going to redistribute those masks when needed. So I don't see this ever being able to happen again.
Yeah, I can see it definitely almost causing, causing people to prep, even corporate to prep better. Yeah, for sure. They, that's definitely a bonus to it.
They'll have to prep differently, and it doesn't cost nothing to have like a cargo container of masks. It's non-perishable as long as you seal it. It just sits there. If this never happens again, no big loss. It just takes till whenever paper deteriorates for it to actually be a loss.
Yeah.
But they can always still distribute them across the world when needed. But what we really are seeing here is a manufacturer-to-mouth distribution system that we're all been super proud of, and we had a new stumble. So now that we've had this stumble, the distribution system will just pick it up, and it'll be unlikely we'll ever have this particular stumble again.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. So this was a suggested thing underneath that federal thing and I don't really, I knew it existed, but I haven't really checked it out. The Remington V3. I think so. I think we should all have one of these. Remington V3 TAC 13. Look at this. This thing is Mad Max looking, man. Semi-auto 12 gauge.
So when they trick it out with all the punk rocker spikes.
Mad Max had a double break open shotgun. Mm-hmm. If anything, it's Outlander looking.
Okay.
It's
no, you're right.
Post-apocalyptic looking.
Yeah, there you go. So I could only imagine what the heck this thing's like if you throw a couple of high brass slugs in there and rattle them off real quick, man. Holy Christ, that would rough on the wrist. The TAC 13 is to start. The V3's dual piston gas block is mounted in front of the receiver. Why does that seem like it starts in the middle of the? Seems like it starts in the middle of the story. That's really weird. 13-inch barrel. Pretty cool looking, man.
I mean, this was the next logical step.
Long. Yeah, after the TAC 13 for sure. 6 pounds. You can shoot slugs. 3-inch chamber. You can change the gas ports if you want to shoot shorter shells, like lighter shots. Wow, it's a pretty cool looking little toy here.
Yeah, they're pretty chunky though.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like it. It's real blocky, but it's pretty cool looking, man.
Did you say 7 pounds? So almost the weight of a full AK-47 empty.
6. It's 6 pounds. Yeah.
So you mean like
About
the original designed AR-50 or AR rifle?
Yeah, 16-inch barrel, full rifle, except in a little thing that's 26, 7 inches long, maybe.
Yeah.
Then again, to control that thing that short would have to be 6 pounds.
Yeah, definitely. Starting with Remington gun club loads firing 1 1/8 ounces of 7-shot, 1,200 feet per second. I was impressed by how manageable. So you're shooting bird shot out of it. Let's see if he has anything to say about the
buckshot.
So yeah, buckshot or slugs. Single mount. There was a single malfunction in the 50-round test with the gun club loads. Otherwise, the TAC 13 ran smoothly. I switched to Remington's 1-ounce managed recoil slugs and found that they were every bit as easy to fire as the gun club load. Using a shot timer, I started cataloging how quickly I could deliver 6 rounds on target. On average, I could hit 6 targets from 10 yards in about 6.5 seconds, with my fastest time being 6.11. It's worth noting that the TAC 13 short barrel didn't reduce muzzle velocity significantly. The slugs promised 1,200 feet per second, and at 10 feet, the average velocity for 10 shots with that load was 1,039. So it went down less than 200 feet per second. That means you aren't losing a great deal of energy. Yeah, 160. I think this gun is merit for personal defense. Fun to shoot. Capacity. Oh, it's still 5+1 too. I'm actually surprised. I thought it was going to be like a little, 4+1 or 3+1 or something like that. So 5+1. Yesterday's comment.
Well, that is with the 2 3/4.
Fun. Yeah, that's true. But still.
And sometimes it's a tight 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to say someone
$920 MSRP. It's a little pricey.
Someone tried running those with the Gilas, and they didn't have enough oomph to cycle it.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I've tried the Gilas in my 590 Shockwave, and without the little rubber plug that you're supposed to use to get them to work in it, it works mostly. The biggest issue I've had with it is that it seems like when it trips the little levers to shoot one out of the magazine tube, it's almost like they want to do a bit of a wheelie and kind of pop upright rather than work.
Spin around.
Yeah. I mean, they're fun, but then again, so is 2 3/4 Remington green and white box 1-ounce regular 12-gauge slugs.
Yeah. That's pretty cool looking.
That's got a cost.
It's a neat looking toy.
What'd you say, G?
What'd you say, G?
Slug's got to cost a lot more than that minis.
Hold on. I've got a box of. Are these mini slugs up here?
They went down in price now.
Yeah, I was surprised. I actually saw at the gun shop when I was there the other day. They had a fair stack of the Aguila mini shells.
Oh yeah.
Which went down?
Slugs
or minis went down?
What's the price?
The price, the slugs or the minis?
See, I run the mini slugs in my Shockwave, and I bought that little rubber insert.
That like Soul Tack.
Yeah, it just stops them from flying off the back of the carrier, and it runs just fine with that little insert.
Okay, I think I got these at a gun show because they don't have an actual price sticker on them.
I bought a box the other day for like $12 and change.
Okay, I think I might have spent like $15. Oh yeah, because I think the guy had it on the table of regardless. This was like a year or two ago where it was any of them $15, and I think everywhere else was wanting like $20.
I could say they were $20.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think. Well, they'd have to. Aguila would have to like drop their price a bit to stay competitive with Federal releasing their mini shells as well. Even though the Federals I heard are like an eighth or a quarter of an inch longer, so they may not go to full capacity on your 12 gauge firearms.
I'm on a gun feed and it says quarantine got you down. Clean your guns. That's what I did yesterday. I did a once over on all the stuff in the safe, all the long guns, and I had put in. I don't know if I even really mentioned it. I bought a goldenrod for in my safe, and it's doing a great job. It's not a goldenrod. It's actually I forget who makes it, like Field and Stream or something. It's not the goldenrod brand.
It's a low heat element.
You've been listening to Honda, so you're investing in a rod of pure gold. Is it investment?
Oh, I think he's been listening to HVS.
And Bitcoin.
I'll tell you what, though.
HVS would have to buy Bitcoin,
Well, how do you know it's not a rod made out of golden rod made out of Bitcoins?
It's doing what it's supposed to, for sure.
It's a golden floppy, or it's a golden USB drive.
Yeah, something like that. Now, speaking of old coinage, was doing a bit of cleaning the other day. Came across a little marble sack. Opened it up and looked in there. No,
in your pants.
Yeah. No, that's more like, when you crack open a peanut, you get one that's kind of normal looking and one's that little sad shriveled thing. That's more what's going on there. But to get back to the point of this, and make this long story over, opened it up and found some kind of weird looking coins and thought for a second, well, these got to be like just, like commemorative coins. And I started thinking, oh no, these are Eisenhower dollars. Forgot how big those things were.
I want to offer a service. Maybe he has these old-fashioned coin dollars. They're no good anymore. You can send them to me
for less than the price of a cup of coffee a day during these times of quarantining and social distancing. You can send your old and outdated coins to gear websites.
So if anybody has never, I was kind of late on the bus with the issue, like the moisture issues in safe, but if I've been using those plug-in desiccants or whatever, which they worked pretty good, they helped, but I'll tell you what, man, I pulled all my guns out last night and they looked awesome. Like they all looked, there was no issues with any of them. Those little goldenrods, man, are awesome.
I don't run none of that. My guns don't run any rust on them.
Well, you're out there in no Rustville for sure. But.
Yeah, you live in the dry heat that is Arizona, unless it floods.
Yeah.
So how long have you had that golden rod of Bitcoin power in your safe?
I've had it for a couple of months, 2 months now.
Okay, so it wasn't like, oh, hey guys, I threw this into my safe last Sunday, and since I'm quarantined, yesterday I took my guns out, and they look just as good as they did when I threw it in.
No, I haven't. I haven't opened my safe for probably a month, and then before that was about another month. I just don't go into my safe very often because I haven't been able to go shoot. So, and the last time the time before that was when I put it in. So,
Does it dry out the flapjacks that you keep in there?
No,
Does it dry out the
it doesn't dry them out.
Keep it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't dry. It doesn't take that much moisture out of the air. But even if it does, it's not a big deal. You just put them in a microwave in a Tupperware with a lid on it and a little bit of water inside. Brings them right back to life.
Oh, I thought you were going to just say boil them again, and they'll be fine.
Oh no! You don't want to boil them again.
And who wants pancake soup?
Now, the best thing to do is you put them in a Tupperware with wet paper towel underneath and a wet paper towel above, on top of them, with a lid on it, and you microwave them for 45 minutes, and then they're good to put back. And then you put them back in the pan to try and crisp them, and you can give them a nice little crust on the side again. It's good stuff.
Somebody's got this all down. So you order a pancake in some place. That's what you're getting. Remanufactured microwave pancake.
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes?
Yeah, 45 minutes. I mean, I'd appreciate it if you don't. You should. I know what I'm talking about. I don't think you really should be questioning me on this. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
After 45 minutes, they still somehow not wet. They come out wet in the middle.
When you eat them, I ain't eating them.
If I wanted something wet and doughy in the middle, I'd just go mix some water and flour together. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You see, you had to... Oh, he's back. Never mind.
Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf backs off gun store shutdown. Yeah, he did. I know we were talking about that in a lot of chats.
Mm-hmm.
Governor Wolf decided, no, we'll let you keep your gun stores open. So that's good. That was a good choice on his part.
Are you saying he cried wolf?
Very wise.
Yeah, especially after that nasty grad that Adam Krause sent him.
Virginia Wolf?
Yeah.
Now, is that Virginia Wolf or Dick Wolf?
Tom Wolf.
Tom Wolf. Thought cats were Toms.
Yeah. Governor Murphy, only government should have guns. Sure. Okay. We already talked about that. Sure.
And the only government should exist while I'm governor. What? What? The thing. You know the thing?
Yeah.
No, Daniel Pfeiffer, Midnight's pancakes do not glow after 45 minutes in the microwave. However, once they're out of there, if you strike a spark next to them, then they make nice little briquettes. A violence-free zone.
Yeah, just remember,
St. Louis pastor.
Truths are self-evident, but you know the rest.
Well, with the guys and the gals and the thing, you know the thing.
St. Louis pastors to use magical violence-free gun signs. The St. Louis pastors have come up with an ingenious new way to fight violent crime in America's sixth most crime-ridden city. Their simple-minded idea, signage. Violence-free zone. Signs to be more specific. Violence-free zone signs to be more specific. No one ever told them that magic spells and wishful thinking in the face of a threat can be hazardous to your health. Neighborhood Scout scores the city of St. Louis a 1 on a scale of 0 of 100 in terms of crime index. On their scale, 100 means the least crime, and the greatest safety. So it's not like golf where the low score wins, unless you're a criminal. That is. But that doesn't stop well-meaning pastors from enchanting the mainstream media with their revolutionary idea to stop violent criminal actors. So violence-free zone. There you go. That's nice.
I don't think they should limit it to just violence. It should be crime-free zones.
You see what it says there, though? So what do we want? Like some kind of one-size-all national government or some sort of national cookie-cutter approach? Or does that thing called Joshua Partnership Project is a neighborhood-specific project that knows, in other words, that the violence is being done between two little kids, groups of little kids, fighting over where they're selling drugs or something. Kids that don't have awareness of the future yet, and they probably have ethics and street code or whatever. And this is like the same thing as like when you watch John Wick, and they got their stupid hotel where they don't fight. Like that's probably playing on that. They're probably knowing that it's futile to suggest to these kids change your way of life and don't do anything. But they can probably say, remember Joshua, or remember that kid that got hurt accidentally with your shenanigans? Like, please don't do it here where we're trying to, do stuff. And it's probably like that. Haven't you ever seen a movie and there's something like this going on? Are you going to shit on everything that is a non-government like attempt to change things? I don't think we need to mock this.
The result of
Especially
this church,
chaos.
the result of this church-based neighborhood organizing and training is a reduction of loss of life, less violence, less crime, and safer communities. Well,
what website is this? Midnight?
truth about guns.
Truth about dividing people. If it was something like a national level, hey, instead of doing anything else, let's only do this. Yeah, maybe question it, but pick on a community trying to do something to calm their kids down without the government. We should be paying attention.
Just reading a story.
So that little, let's see, from Fox, transformation project was designed, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Get some pancakes and bacon. Well, conservative, you're forgetting about the maple syrup and the butter. Or are you one of those weirdos, Midnight, who prefers pecan syrup to maple syrup?
No.
Blueberry syrup.
Pancake syrup's fine. I like blueberry pancakes, but I'm a regular syrup kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like not big on the. I'll tell you this too. Depending on the maple syrup, I like regular old pancake syrup better than like real maple syrup sometimes. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I think it's just because that's what I'm used to, Dead Horse says, have I ever made rabbit stew? Yes, I have.
Like actual rabbit stew, or something that you took off a hook that was sitting on your windowsill?
What the hell are you talking about? What is that supposed to mean? Hook?
Yeah, no, isn't that how rabbits are traditionally stored after they're skinned for your fusion cuisine or whatever?
Oh, I don't know.
No, you just
old.
Go ahead.
Old school.
Yeah, he doesn't prep the food. He just makes it.
Yeah.
Old school maple syrup is way thicker. You get that regular maple syrup. It's like water. Yeah, it tastes good, but it's not the same. I agree with Midnight.
Well, now I believe it was our.
It depends on.
Yeah, if you aren't going in and pounding the tap into the tree, then it ain't worth it.
Well, I believe our mutual Gun Channel's acquaintance, Roosted Films, was actually doing tapping maple trees and trying to make some syrup.
DM Foss says he's allergic to rabbit. That's an odd thing to be allergic to.
Yeah, especially since you're a mouse.
Are you allergic to any other proteins? Are you allergic
any
to
other
any
fuzz?
other proteins? I have had. Go ahead.
Oftentimes, people that are allergic to carrots are allergic to rabbits also.
I've had
That makes sense.
Customers come in that were allergic to. I have a woman that comes in every once in a while that's allergic to chicken. She can't have chicken. So, I mean, there's some sort of enzyme or protein in it that is allergic to. But, yeah, are you allergic to any other meats? That'd be interesting to know.
PB&J on pancakes. I can see peanut butter and bacon.
It's good stuff. No, peanut butter and jelly on pancakes is awesome. I've done peanut butter and jelly on waffles. Waffles is great too. Toast waffles that are nice and crunchy. Put a little PB&J on there. He says nothing else that he knows of. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would think that's. You don't hear of a whole lot of protein or meat, I should say meats, allergies. There's not a whole lot of times I've run across people that have been allergic to, beef, chicken, lamb, something like that. But it does happen. But we've, I've dealt with rabbit a couple of times. Yeah, shellfish.
Yeah,
you
shellfish.
See a lot. Fish. Other, regular fish, even like just regular any kind of fish, shellfish especially. But yeah, but yeah, I've dealt with rabbit a couple of times.
Do you notice that this has a pattern? Like, let's say they come in one week and they order your rabbit, and then the next week they're like, "Oh, I'm allergic to rabbit," and then they come in and they order chicken, and then the next week it's like, "Oh no, I'm allergic to chicken." Like,
because they just happen to be getting deathly sick of everything. Yeah.
I don't see why that would be. I mean, midnight spits into everybody's food.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, everyone is allergic to bats. Yeah. But I've done, I've done some stuff with rabbit saddle. They call it the saddle when you just use like you'll bone it out, take the bones out of it, and just use it's basically the back and the hindquarters. They'll call that the saddle rabbit. Fricassee is something you see with rabbit a lot, and that's when you would lightly flour it and sear it or saute it, and then add other ingredients to it to sort of make like a stewy kind of thing. And the flour that's on the meat, when you saute that, browns a little bit, and then it also causes the
haunch.
It also causes the broth or the liquid to thicken a little bit and kind of get like stewy. So that's how a fricassee does. You see it with chicken too, chicken fricassee or fricassee. Neat technique, You see it with beef too, where if you make like a beef stew, you'll roll the cubes of beef in flour and saute them so that they get a little bit brown on the outside, and then you'll add like your veggies and all that other kind of stuff. And that residual flour that was browned will then, thicken the broth, the stock. Poor Conservative says, "Isn't Stewie a cartoon?" Yes, he is.
Whip.
Rabbit is stringy. Rabbit is stringy. I find it best boiled in stew or chili. Yeah, it's a lot like squirrel. Squirrel's the same way. Did I say Owen or did he say Owen? I don't know. I am just getting over a little. Did I? I'm getting over a little bit of a sinusy thing. I still have a little sinus pressure, so I might be saying it like Owen, like that. Yeah.
I think it's your accent.
Owen. Mm-hmm. It's that famous Pennsylvanian accent going on there.
Maybe.
Pennsylvania Dutch accent.
Apparently, it's created from sinus.
It sounds like you just fell off the Amish wagon.
Could be.
Owen.
But squirrel's the same way. Squirrel and rabbit, they're really super lean and they're kind of stringy, and you definitely need to cook them a long way. And they're good. It tastes like turkey, kind of. Dead Horse says jackrabbit is unprotected in most states, which means no permit. Cottontails and snow bunnies always permits. It's viable to help put food on the table right now. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that
I like rabbit. I
that very lean part about rabbit is a good thing to keep in mind if you're someone who's trying to sustain, not supplement, but sustain themselves on rabbit. Is you need to find something that has fat, because you can get if you eat nothing but rabbit for an extended period of time, you will get protein poisoning, or what is it called? It's like rabbit or rabbit starvation, where you can eat and eat, but you won't ever feel full.
Well, it can. I think it can cause dementia too. Like it causes hallucinations or something, because it doesn't have the fats that you need to. Something to do with the way your brain works.
Yeah,
we know what's wrong
Squirrels
with
live in
Joe.
trees and rabbits live on the ground. They're not the same. Yeah,
if you know, my name's Joe.
Now we know what. Now you know what's wrong with Uncle Joe.
Tree rabbits.
Yeah, he's probably he's been eating a straight rabbit diet for 20 years. It's totally bananas now.
He's a rabbit sandwiches.
Tree rabbit.
No more rabbit sandwiches before these talks he gives.
Well, you'd think his wife,
his sister wife.
What they say on the sister wife, his wife. They said on the View, his wife was Whoopi Goldberg said his wife was a fantastic, amazing doctor. She's not even a doctor. She's a doctor, but she's like an English teacher.
Yeah,
she's an English teacher.
Calling her a doctor is like saying that Bill Nye is a scientist or a professor. Yeah, of mechanical engineering.
Rabbits have a parasite in it that lay eggs, and the eggs can make you really sick. So it's actually best to grill or fry or bake rabbit first, then boil it so it's safe to eat. I didn't know.
You only eat rabbits in the months that end with R, is what I was told.
Which is a good thing, because then you can go harvest rhubarb.
Yeah, because a lot of critters like that, at least out here, so that you don't get all the parasites and growth on them. Because I don't know if you've ever killed a lot of these things, but they're not always like in a butcher shop. They're kind of gross. They've got things growing on them, parasites and things that you can see, not just in them, but you don't get that much in the winter. I guess stuff comes off.
Yeah. Yep. In the winter, it's better. Yep.
But there's also plague, right? They go around shooting rats and, yard rats. Yeah. You're going to get plague eventually.
Plague and mange and all that good stuff. And rabies every once in a while.
Have I heard about the 5G conspiracy? No, I have not.
Well, you would if you would listen to the Gay Frog chats preceding this show on Sunday evenings.
Well, I got shit to do.
A lot of people suggest that I come apart into 5, but no, there's just one.
Yeah, I mean, there can be only one G. As much as we might think it would be entertaining to see a 5-way G-Webs death match, I mean, there can only be one. You're the main carriers of the Rabbit-19 virus? Seriously? Seriously?
I did it. Dad joke.
I think that if the 5G is going to cause anything, that would be what would cause zombies. It would scramble people's brains and cause them to want to, become like zombies.
Well, I mean, the 3G and the 4G started it, with the 5-year-old kids getting their smartphones because their parents want them to shut up.
So didn't 5G lose a bunch of weight? Now he's only 1G.
Didn't you see that Batman where the Joker makes you eat like 3 different things and that activates the poison? First you get the virus, and then you hold a phone up to your ear, and then they 5G you, and that's how you turn into a zombie.
He's
I don't remember what episode that was.
Talking like this is the Nerd Talk. Nerd Talk's tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Yes, with never enough ammo and a cast of crazy characters. And G-Webs.
No Easter baskets. Hey, Kingpin, what's going on? Kingpin used to
no
join
Easter
the chat,
baskets? Okay. I didn't mind.
Like me anymore.
I didn't mind the world-ending apocalypse and the rationing of toilet paper, but now you're saying I'm not going to get my jelly beans and chocolate eggs? Okay, this is officially an emergency.
Seven Wonders says, I'm not convinced that 5G is as bad as a 45-minute microwave session. Well, it's not like you had your head in the microwave.
I don't know. 7 is kind of odd. You know what happens? The latch on the microwave breaks. You can't really. It's got that damn little safety switch to where it won't start unless the microwave's closed. So 7, he just hit the button on the side there and just held the door closed with his head. That way he was right there when it went beep.
I thought that's how Easter got started. Yeah, that's when Jesus hides the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
The rabbit eggs.
Look, like most things, it has its roots in paganism.
I don't know. It is interesting to see where a lot of this stuff comes from, though. I've never really looked up Easter how it got started.
Most of the stuff for Easter, the eggs, the rabbits, and the decorating of trees during Christmas, it was all pagan rituals to go like, oh hey, we're not that different from you guys. We just believe in a one invisible man in the sky, and his son was really cool. And we also do this weird thing with trees as well. So we're just like you.
Yeah, my God is so badass. We hide eggs and decorate trees in your house. Get back.
Well, no, the whole thing, like eggs it's been a symbol of like rebirth and new life for millennia before stuff was ever written down. And the fact that rabbits, let's see, it's spring and we're representing new life. What do rabbits do in the spring?
I don't know.
Eat all my shit.
Open the windows, do a little spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do my laundry.
They pass out Easter eggs.
Well, if you believe the commercials, it's only one, and he's a real prick from England. He's like a cad bunny, carberry, like a carabooey bunny, I think is what he's called. He's the one that hands out all the cream eggs.
Bunny.
The caribou
Pink
bunny.
Panther is so correct. Look at Pink.
Jesus was the first zombie. Jesus was the first zombie, and he actually worked. He talked. He didn't have the thirst for brains, and then it just went all downhill from there.
It's like the Step Brothers. I thought you were dead.
I
Let
was.
the dirt wash over you. Zombie!
Foss says, I got a large pack of TP today. The old lady I took it from wasn't happy when I shoved it to the ground. I didn't need it, just trying to stay active.
Well, now, Faust, what you need to do is
burn a couple calories.
Yeah, once you get comfortable with the old ladies, you need to hand out some free pixie sticks to like 5-year-olds and tell them, okay, go and take all the toilet paper, run around and hide, and I'll go find the toilet paper. That's a real workout.
That's a skit from Seinfeld. That's like the marble rye. You had to push her to the ground.
Marble rye.
Shut up, you old bag.
Marble rye is one of the best of the ryes.
Fight the good fight.
Now, 7 Wonders, even old ladies need loving too. And I killed the chat. This awkward silence is brought to you by the bold and refreshing taste of now 99% Corona-free Diet Beef Soda Zero.
She shouldn't have been standing there. That's what she gets for being in the store. Grandma.
That's what you get for existing.
Yeah, don't they have their own time now?
Only at some Dollar Generals, I found out.
Let the general save some time.
Well, they're doing it at Wally. They're doing it at Wally World around here too. They have their set times and days. Same way with the grocery stores. But the only problem is, again, we get the influx from the scuzz buckets from Phoenix. They drive up here an hour and a half so they can get in there and wipe everything out so the locals can't get anything.
Wait, are you saying that sweet little old lady who drove up in her 3/4 ton pickup truck that was already filled to the brim with shit is taking advantage of the situation to the detriment of others?
No, never. Yeah, especially when it comes with an out-of-state license plate. Never. That would never happen. We got more out-of-state license plates here than we have regular Arizona plates.
I had a thought, and would he come back with that license plate thing through me for something that I already said? Oh, yeah. Just remember, boys and girls, when you're trying to fight off that little old lady or that little old man for that last roll of toilet paper, be careful. Some of those old people are just to the point to where they will kill your ass. They're like, no, I don't care. I'm not going to, no, I don't have time for this. I'm going to die. I'm going to be dead in like a year or so. I'm not dealing with this shit. And Kroger says pink.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's not bad enough
That
here that you
says
get
I
the
should be-
you get the snowbirds, and they think automatically because they're here that you owe them anyway because they're here. So they already have an attitude to begin with.
I pay taxes on the half acre that my trailer sits on.
1/8 of an acre.
It's not like that anymore. There are some trailer parks and stuff, but people that retire are not moving on to parks. They're going into,
Like
communities.
condos.
No, communities. We got sprawl out here, dude. We don't have a lack of land.
No, you just have a lack of land where people
No, we
want to
don't.
actually
No.
work.
No, nobody wants to live up out here. In fact, there's ordinances against building up. So no, it's not condos. It would be more like townhomes and duplexes and
yeah.
sprawl. But anyway, communities. So anyway, the people aren't moving out here to mobile homes anymore. Is what I'm saying.
Like I said, I know if you go down to Mesa and you hit some of those communities down there, half those communities during the summertime are completely empty because they're all Canucks. They bought property down here. They come down for their 6 months and they go home.
So you're
they
saying
live
you
down
have an
there for
army
6
of
months.
Bobs?
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
No, Bob's
yeah,
Bob
they
and
actually
travels around. We're talking people that bought property here, that own property here. So it's more than just a bunch of.
Yeah.
They own it, and it's vacant, but it's not like a swell that Like it's there's shells of it when they're not here. It still exists when they're not here.
Yeah, they're in the 55 plus communities.
Yeah, it's not like RV parks like you
Yeah,
saw
they're
back in the 50s.
Yeah. But they almost we actually shut one down for about a month because they refused to fly an American flag. All they flew was Canadian flags. So they actually had the city go down there and shut them down. It was actually pretty funny. They had out there, I mean, between the protesters and all the BS that was going on with that. They were cutting the flags down. It was getting nasty there for a while.
Ozark's comment out there confused me, so I read it 3 times, and it still confuses me.
Who's?
He says rabbits are one of Ozark.
Okay.
It says rabbits are one of the only animals that go into heat at any time of intercourse. What? Is that backwards?
No, it means that the female is
If they're already having intercourse. They're already having intercourse, then you better be in heat already, or it's a little late, huh? Dead Horse says I should be teaching us what to hunt and grow to survive. I'm no farmer, and I don't hunt much anymore. I can figure out what to do with it once you bring it out. Once you bring it to the kitchen.
Yeah, just get all the gross bits off of it first. That way, Midnight can Midnight knows what to do.
I watched a show where some guy from England goes around to restaurants in England, and he tells them to be better or whatever, and then at the end of the show, they're good. You ever seen that show?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's Yeah, I mean, there's different ones, but that's probably. I mean, I don't know if I saw the one that you're talking about. I mean, Ramsey did
It's
that for
probably
years. He
Ramsey
still
because
does,
I
I think.
wasn't paying that much attention, but it's probably like somebody I've heard of before because I've seen the guy before. I just don't watch
Yeah.
enough to remember.
If
Definitely
you watch if you watch Gordon Ramsay's old stuff when he was doing that, like Kitchen Nightmares or whatever,
Oh, that's what it was called.
it
Yeah.
was just in
Okay.
yeah, it was just in England. It was just in like England and Wales and Ireland and stuff like that. Like he branched out from England, and then when he came to the United States, the show changed a lot. Those old ones are. He's definitely more of like easygoing. Gizzard, you getting out of here? If you're going to get going, you going to give us any plugs or anything that you got planned?
Oh, yeah, look for a video sometime this week. Then Foul Territory on Friday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and Early Bird Chat Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. And thanks for the invite.
No, anytime, buddy. Glad to have you.
All right.
So his old shows, like his newer shows, are what a lot of people know of him. Like he's this crazy, screaming, calling everybody a donkey, yelling at everybody, and insulting guests and doing.
That's what I thought these shows were like. This one was not like that.
Right, it's totally different. His his old shows, he's much more calm and level-headed, and is more of a mentor to the guys. He's definitely tries to bump up the staff and the cooks and stuff to be better, and it's a more positive show. When they brought it to the United States, they really changed things, and it came more into a chewing people
Shock
out
value.
and yelling at them and telling them that they sucked, to try and that's I guess what people gravitated towards.
And it was interesting because he was doing exactly what you just said, right? And that was interesting to watch the progress or something. But I had seen one, and the reason I even watched it because a long time ago I watched one. I could have sworn it was a bald guy, and he was way more. He wasn't the same guy, so I don't think, unless that guy got bald or something. But a long time ago I watched one where it was in the United States, and it was like a clam chowder place or some place that made fish patties or something back in England or New England, and but in the United States, in New England. But that one was it was interesting. It wasn't yelling unnecessarily, but it was one of those shows where, like, I don't know, on regular TV it was probably an hour, so it was like the first 15 minutes, and then they wrap up before the commercial, and then they come back after the commercial and do exactly what they did before the commercial. So you end up watching portions of the show like 30 times, and I can't handle that. So I quit watching that. I never even looked at another one of those shows. That format of, like, in and out of commercials when there are no commercials. I mean, watching it online, it's super freaky to see all that. It bothers the hell out of me.
Oh, well, it just flashes back and then goes a little bit further forward and then flashes back, goes a little further forward. Yeah, that would be bad.
I think it has to do with the amount of
15 minutes
commercial breaks and
they
stuff.
showed it to you like 30 times.
Yeah, I think it's because of the commercial breaks, and they didn't, they took them out or added them or whatever. It probably messes with the editing. But Kingpin says, "I'm not sure what you're talking about. Ramsey has been screaming at people forever." He's always been a hard ass, and I know growing, like, being a chef where he was and working with some of the chefs he did, like in France, some of those old school guys are pretty fucking brutal, man. Some of them are really hard asses for sure. But this is a different kind of feeling show. If you can find any of them to watch, they're very interesting, and it's interesting to watch because it's totally different kind of food than we do here, obviously. But it's more for me. It was more entertaining to watch than him treat people shitty to try and get them to quit or something, and then move forward without them. And that's, I mean,
this was really constructive. The guy was trying to do an Italian restaurant and he didn't know how to do it, and he was just like reheating food and doing a poor job, and he gave him some instruction. He showed him how it was done by going to another place, and then like incrementally gave him more challenge and gave, like you're saying, the staff advice and input. And then he left and came back, I guess, after like a month or a couple of 3 months or something, and showed how much they progressed. And for that guy, it was transformative, because he was just like basically buying frozen stuff and heating it up versus making it from scratch or whatever.
Yeah,
so it was really neat.
Yeah, it's interesting. When you start getting into the newer stuff, it's so much more based on shock value, and the energy, the high energy, and the things being tense, and the drama and whatnot. You know what I mean? That a lot of the other stuff loses sight. And sometimes, I mean, being in this industry, there's different people that take different types of managing. Some people you have to make them feel like garbage for them to realize that they need to step it up. And some people, all you have to say is, "Hey, dude, this isn't acceptable. This is you're disappointing me." You got to make them feel like if they feel like they're disappointing you, then that's all it takes for them to say, "Okay, I got to get my shit together." My thing with a lot of the American, the newer stuff is, it's right off the bat, and it's the same thing with Taffer, like in Bar Rescue and a lot of the other shows. Not all of them, and not every episode, obviously, that's all different, but they come in like a tornado from what you see. So, and who knows what's going on behind the scenes and with the editing. So I really don't trust anything from what I see.
It's all a TV show.
For sure.
No matter what.
But for the audience, as far as the audience watching, they come in right away yelling and screaming and being an asshole to people. And for some reason, that's what attracts people. And what's funny is that's what attracts people, even though they're 99.9% sure that it's set up. You know what I mean? Like,
it's the same
semi-scripted.
It's the same type of demographic that like professional wrestling.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yes. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we know, or people who, like moon pies or that. Okay, I know this is completely synthetic. There's nothing good in it, but I still like it. I mean, people like drama. They like to live that vicariously to get that little hit of adrenaline. It's the same reason why slasher movies and roller coasters are still a thing, because Amish Mafia was... Okay, first of all, fuck Amish Mafia with the largest, most uncomfortable thing you can think of all the way through, because that's the show that got Dirty Jobs canceled, and Dirty Jobs, for as staged as that may or may not have been, at least had a good message of it, of, hey, you don't need to go to or what everyone's saying, you don't have to go to college, get yourself into $50,000 or $100,000 worth of debt to have a good life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Mike Rowe always seems like kind of a cool dude.
There was stuff about Amish Mafia in our news because, obviously it was supposed to be in Pennsylvania. I think it was in Paradise, PA, down by Lancaster. But
Is that a TV show?
There was
Amish Mafia.
It was this.
Yeah.
It was this supposed to be like this reality TV show about the Amish behind the scenes and how they had their own like mafia type people that were like they're the ones that like ran things. It was crazy.
They had low ride buggies and
so stupid. Well, that kind of shit you do see. That kind of shit's not impossible to find. Buggies with like sound systems in them and stuff, that happens. But
there's like a guy in the back with a fiddle and another guy with a harmonica.
Yeah.
Yep.
but I know like there was certain things that they portrayed on the show that were like his house, the guy's office. He had like a trailer that he used for his office, and it burned down one time. But like then you hear about how like, oh yeah, well they had to apply for that permit to burn that building. You know what I mean? So they didn't, it's shit like that got out towards the end, and it was just like, it just it kept getting more and more ridiculous. And
to be fair, though, a lot of times if I burn down a building, like in the heat of the moment, I'll just have my people pay off so that it looked like I put the permit earlier.
Yeah. I will say this though, the one girl in the one chick in the show,
it was like, oh, don't mess with so and so, the main pro antagonist guy.
Oh, she did get
like
her ass. She got her ass kicked by her boyfriend. She had that was in the news. He went to jail for it. He got locked up. And they were supposed to be like on again, off again or something. I don't remember. Like they weren't together. And they were supposed to be living Amish, and she wasn't. And, outside of the show, she was just, I guess, living normal. Normal. What we consider normal. And he ended up putting her in the hospital, knocked a bunch of her teeth out. Like just
I live like half Amish, but not by choice, just because I'm poor.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Levi was a volunteer firefighter in real life. Maybe, yeah, I don't remember. That's actually, that's pretty close to Kingpin too. Yeah, it's closer to him than me probably.
So, T-Webs, is that why threads you're not using the right viscosity of whale oil to keep your little patch robot running?
Half Amish.
Yeah, okay.
Half Amish.
Well, isn't half Amish just Hutterite?
Half Amish would be Mennonite, I guess.
Very nice.
He's a Geonite.
Yeah. Geonite.
A Gunnonite. Yeah. I'm Amish for all the things I can't afford except for guns. In that case, I'm all into modern stuff. Would the Amish be okay with a PKM with like a belt-fed machine gun, or would that be too mechanical for them?
I think it'd be too mechanical, and I think they're pacifists. So
yeah, and I think they'd probably have 3 or 4.
They're not. They own guns for sure. I don't think. Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying, Amish and Mennonite are probably some of the most heavily armed people you ever want to come across.
No shit.
I really wanted to do a Guns of the Amish video, but I couldn't find any way to tell me about it. But I think they have a lot of guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I used to work for a department in Lancaster County that covered an Amish Mennonite group. Yeah, they don't call you. They don't call you anyway, so it doesn't matter. They take care of their own.
Yeah. Well, they keep a lot in the community. Yeah, with health, the way they do health funding and stuff like that. But the I would imagine that they would be okay with belt feds because it's a machine that works under its own power too. You know what I mean? It's not like a minigun or something that's got to have outside electricity. So I think you'd be okay with that.
They're making a good point.
Kingpin. And yes, Seven Wonders, you should go watch Weird Al's Amish Paradise. Everyone should watch that.
Yeah.
And you should watch Tiger King.
It's got to be tough to be a mafia for the Amish because every time you burn down one of the barns to make a point, it just gets raised right away in the morning and everybody doesn't even know it happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I lived near a lot of Amish when I was growing up. A bunch of farms out in my town had Amish farms. That's my theme, yeah.
Been living all our lives, living in an Amish paradise.
I don't know what else. What else we got to talk about? Anything else? If not, we can make tonight keep tonight a short one. I got to get up super early tomorrow. I got to be in at work early. I got to open up. Just two of us. We're down.
Just the two of us.
Just two of us in the back. So we're splitting long days, which it's still not bad. I mean, we're still not open late. So a couple of days I'm going to open up this week and work till close. And the other days I'll go in, at like 2 or 3, and just work till, like a 6 hour or something. But tomorrow's I gotta go grab some stuff because we didn't really even have it. We didn't have enough stuff that we needed to put an order in because we have minimums. So I'm going to pick some stuff up on the way to work and head in. C4 Defense says Rumspringa. That was I worked with a kid. I think I might have mentioned this on the show. Okay, so who were the Bushwhackers, right? You remember the Bushwhackers from WWF?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he was a big WWF fan. He loved, in that era, you know what I mean, like the 80s, 90s, or whatever. And he always used to talk about how if he had the chance, he would do a WWF tag team duo that were kind of modeled after the Bushwhackers, like the way they used to like stomp around and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But they would be Amish and they would be the Rumspringers. And he would do it in the kitchen. It would be so funny because from like across the kitchen, he'd be like, now coming to the ring, 270 whatever pounds or whatever, and he'd come stomping out the Rumspringers. And he had this whole I wish I could remember some of the stuff he said, but he even had like a couple of funny moves made up and stuff. It would like raising the barn would be one thing where he'd like, it'd be like some sort of pile driver or something, and be like, oh, he raised the barn on him. Oh, good God Almighty! It was really funny, man. It was one of those things that is like a recurring joke that never got old for months. Like anytime he did it, he was so into it, and he would say it with this funny accent and do these moves. It was hilarious. It was so funny. He did an awesome Paul Bearer too. He would crack us up with his Paul Bearer. We'd be in the middle of working or whatever, and just from across the kitchen, he used to work pantry. He'd lace into a Paul Bearer impression, and it would just make you giggle. It was so funny.
How long ago was that?
Oh, this was years ago, probably 6 years ago now.
If you've got his number, you should send him a text, and it's nothing but Rumspringa and exclamation points and no explanation.
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
Does.
And I actually know where he's working. He's working for a guy that I used to work with too. So I mean, it's fun. I just saw a picture of him somewhere
just
on
randomly
Instagram or
send
something.
that.
Not Instagram, Facebook or something. No, yeah, it was Instagram through our work Facebook. It was. I saw a picture of him. Yeah,
going for the oxen yoke.
Going for the oxen yoke. Yeah, that would be a good one. We should do we should make up next week. We should do a segment where we make the Rumspringers and then make their moves, figure out what their moves are. Tombstone pile driver, we'd call that raising the barn. a clothesline could be fell in the wheat. Oh, he's fell in the wheat. Gave him a clothesline in the middle of the ring. Damn near took his head off. Oh, good God Almighty.
Oh, dear Lord, he's going for a turn in the butter. He's going to turn his butter.
Oh, God Almighty, sent him straight to hell. He's dead. Oh, God, he's dead. Yeah, he was a big wrestling fan. He was funny about it though. It was really good comic relief. Oh, God Almighty, he killed him. He's dead for sure.
Oh, Jedediah.
Little Mean Gene in there. Oh, Jedediah.
Pass out drunk for the 3 count.
He can come to the ring in a buggy. Yeah. The Rumspringers. But I just totally pictured, because the the way the bushwhackers used to act, except have them act exactly the same, except put them in like Amish attire. How hilarious would that be?
Like the big hat and the non-button up frock, and just have them stomping into the ring and then doing the Hulk Hogan bullshit.
Yeah, but they come out in that
chewing on the ring posts.
But they pull it off like an NBA player. It's velcroed on the side, and then just got the black singlet like the Undertaker.
Yeah,
and just start destroying people.
Chewing on the ring post. Remember they used to chew on the ring post.
His sister, mom, wife can be the manager. Okay, I don't want to wrestle. It took you that long to hear that, G?
Yeah, churn his butter.
No.
Yeah, churning his butter.
I could reach that keyboard or that other keyboard and typed it in there. So
you give him.
I would. You could as soon as he said, time to react.
Yeah.
The who used to sit on? Was it Yokozuna that used to like sit on people's faces? They could do that, and they could just call it a whoopie pie. Oh God, he whoopie pied him. He's done. He's done for sure. Oh God, he's dead. He killed him.
Eb, up in Lancaster to get your face sit on would cost you $350 and half a hog.
Oh yeah, for sure. $350. That's expensive. Ask RL. He's all over this. All over running around down here. He knows.
I don't hear anything you're going to say all about them.
I don't want to watch no wrestlers. G's a grumpy old man sitting on his porch. I don't want to watch no wrestlers churning their butters. No.
I came here to see a man kill another man. Or at least severely beat him.
I don't watch any wrestling, though. Not just that type of wrestling. So
I mean, go ahead.
The algorithm brought me in 2 parts instant coffee, right? Sanka, something like that. 2 parts powdered coffee, 2 parts sugar, and then 2 parts water. So just those 6 elements: 2 parts coffee, 2 parts sugar, and 2 parts water. You ever seen this? You know what that would do? And you mix that with an egg beater?
I think it would get your sugar and coffee wet.
No.
Icing.
It turns them into kind of like, it looks like Cool Whip mixed with like caramel kind of a color, and it's supposed to taste like a burnt caramel instead of coffee, but like almost like a different flavor than coffee. But it's like the sugar crystals go in between where the bubbles mix or where the bubbles intersect and the coffee, and that creates a lattice. So that creates a whip. So that with just those 3 ingredients, it creates. I mean, think about it: 2 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons, and 2 tablespoons. What I saw the YouTube video do, and then they whip it with egg beaters, right? 6 tablespoons of stuff turns into like a whole bowl of this foam, and it's like a foam that lasts for a while. So what they're doing is they're putting like a spoonful of it, a blop of it, into like milk, and it's like a way to drink a coffee, like a sweet coffee drink. There's a name for it because they came up with it. Allegedly, it got invented during this Corona thing. So what I was going to ask is, what about like what kind of food is going to come out of people being homebound and being bored and creative and collaborative? Because we've got TikTok and Instagram where people things can go viral.
Yeah.
Like I think that's, I got it fed to me probably because one of the things I've been doing is I go to the main page of YouTube and I tell it to quit sending me certain things. Like there's some channels I don't like, there's some videos I don't want to watch. So you click those 3 buttons and say, don't recommend this kind of thing to me anymore. And it starts screwing with Algorithm rhythm, and they have to send you something. So they start sending you the weirdest stuff. And I kind of enjoy that. So, I'll watch something like those street foods of whatever. Now, I also learned just recently, I'm going to break in here with a side track, but just because it applies, Smarter Every Day, a giant YouTube channel called Smarter Every Day, just did an awesome video about manipulation of the internet and Reddit. Highly recommend you watch it because there are definitely people that are screwing with us, and it's very easy. They're making millions of dollars and they screw with us just for jokes, for shits and giggles. Anyway, with that in mind, I'm trying to mess with the algorithm and letting it not just feed to me. Instead, I'm trying to screw with it. Anyway, that's how I think I found this. But now that I looked at one, it's feeding me all over the place. And it's annoying how you look at it on YouTube and it's feeding it to me on Instagram. How's that happening? But anyway, I forget what it's called. It's like blah 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 coffee or something. It's come from Korea. But anyway, I'm just curious if you know of any other stuff that's happening that people are kind of creating.
I don't know if this is something that they created. I was at a relative's place, so I didn't have access to my regular internets and was forced to watch actual cable. But that I forget the late night host who isn't Leno or Carson anymore.
Colbert.
No, it's like the main guy who took Leno's spot.
Yeah, it's Colbert.
Colbert. Yeah.
Isn't that it's Colbert?
I thought it was Kimmel. Anyway,
that was a rerun then because Kimmel's been gone.
I don't know. They've got they got all these fancy people doing like, oh hey, we're doing this show exactly from home, so we got to figure out shit to do.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, they were coming up with this. I don't know if it's something new, but it was basically getting the Alexa or the Siri robot to say a word. So you had to like take your little eavesdropping NSA bot, press the button, and go, Alexa, what is a brined cucumber? And it was like kind of like the word game, but backwards. You knew what the word was, but you had to phrase it in a way that the robot would come back with, oh, a brined cucumber will turn into a pickle. Or something like that. You know, if the keyword was like pickle or if the word was like robot. Yeah, Jimmy Fallon. Okay, not Kimmel. Too many damn Jimmys.
Side note.
Mm-hmm.
One of the funniest things I've heard in a long, long time is that Yankees Roomba. Did you guys hear this?
Yeah.
So the new,
and he is not the first person I've heard that has happened to.
No,
yeah,
that's happened to a lot of people.
I guess the new dog pooped on the carpet, and nobody knew it. And the Roomba went over top of it and started shooting it, spreading it all over his house, and it got all up in the Roomba. And he said he had to take the whole thing apart and shampoo the carpets and take the Roomba apart and clean it out and stuff. How funny is that? such a
well, now
like,
I think G-Webs might agree with me that the reason why that puppy is making such a large mess is because its belly isn't being rubbed properly. It's not working all that stuff through, so it's like a lot of small ones rather than just one big one.
Not only does he not rub that puppy's belly enough, and this isn't obvious, you're right, this is obviously that puppy's belly isn't being rubbed enough, but also he invited a robot into his house, so
he's had robots in his house for years. I think the only reason why he got a new one is because Turnip saw a video of a cat riding one. He's like, oh, hey, I want to ride that. And he ended up killing that robot. Turnip is a rather heavy dog.
The Pumbaa. Timon, that's Timon and Pumbaa. Yeah.
Damn robots.
Pumbaa.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
Matata.
That means
spread all over the white carpet.
That was pretty funny.
Well, Pomade, I think it's just one of those thing or Yankeeisms where, yeah, it'd be cheaper for me to get a vacuum and vacuum my carpet, or it'd be cheaper for me just to fix this little dent or change my oil myself, but I ain't got time for that shit. I can pay somebody else to do that. I'm old and retired.
Back in my day, if you had kids, you didn't have to vacuum because we were always vacuuming everything.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you
get
somebody,
or you can just.
I never vacuum poop.
Yeah, exactly. We vacuum.
I went around it and left it for later.
No, we vacuum poop once, but then I got yelled at because apparently the shop vac was pulling the carpet off the floorboards. Look, it's not my fault that somebody bought a 5-horsepower shop vac and left it unattended.
A Roomba is not a replacement for a vacuum. Yeah, yesterday's Pomade is very, very wound up about this. He does not like the idea of the Roomba.
No, he says he has one. He uses it for cleaning his hardwood. Now, that's even more dangerous. I mean, What would you
different.
rather trust a robot to do? Clean your carpet or to polish your hardwood? I mean, either or could end in ending your family line pretty quickly.
I read a Roomba review where the reviewer diagrammed the path the Roomba smeared the poop in his house. What a horrible, like, and then he said they were just like sitting there watching TV or something. He's like,
and the Roomba just went past by, and it's like,
yeah. He's like, what the hell smells like that?
It's not like they go one place and go just back and forth or anything. They're intentionally like they dart all over every which direction, right? Like randomly. And
some do, and then some will like learn your house and figure out what's the most optimal path.
Yeah.
They are
learn
where to go. They just bounced off the wall and went and they hit a wall.
Like I think Yankee said, the one that he picked up was like $1,200 because it had like the fancy ass base station where it would, like, once the Roomba was full, it would go dump its bin and then do that. No, some of the original robots would just bounce around like a pinball and go there, but these new ones will actually, they'll bounce around for like maybe the first week or so until it learns, like, okay, I'm so far from the base station and I keep bumping here. Maybe I should just go this direction instead of that direction.
So you would think that if you're going to pay that much and it's that smart, then it would, because like if you had spaghetti sauce or a big chunk of pudding, anything that would be inappropriate for it to smear all over, you'd have a sensor, right? And go, oh, I'm making a mess. I'm not doing my job. Right? Like, I'm stopping.
Oh, shit. Literally, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, and until we can program them with a fear of death, like, oh, this isn't clean, or oh, I'm making a mess, I'm going to die, kind of like those, what was in the Hitchhiker's Guide, the little mining robots that feared the dark, so they kept moving on the light side of the world.
It was probably Zyler. Zyler probably shit on the floor.
Probably.
He's listening too much. Too much of that bad rap from the Rick and Morty saying to take off your pants, shit on the floor.
Right.
Big
Twifty.
Dump on the floor.
Giant turd.
It is just. I can only imagine. I wish he had it on camera. His reaction to that, like, what the.
Like, this I'm sure it was hilarious. Robot paid good money for it. What the hell?
Yeah.
But he was still awake when the thing was. He was still awake while it was smearing shit all over.
Yeah, well, I think
that's what he said. He didn't realize it until it went past him.
Yeah, and it was making a smell. Yeah, I mean, if he's smelled it. Well, I mean, you've seen the dirt floors. Well, I mean, he's done like a little tour when they first moved into the house of that open. It's a fairly open plan. I mean, if the dog was sitting by the back door where I think they got the dog running, he just, hey, I gotta go. Oh, just go here. They were sitting in the living room all the way across the other house, or other end of the house. I mean, it wasn't like the robot. It wasn't like the creepy robot at whose supermarket? Is that your guys' supermarket Midnight with the googly eyes that goes around saying, "There's been a mess. There's been a mess. I can't clean this up."
Yeah.
Was it Marvin or
George says
that guy?
Marty. George says,
now, is he McFly?
How about a sex pot? No,
they make
George,
those.
You don't want your sex pot to smell like that either.
I mean, unless you're into that kind of thing, in which case, keep it to yourself.
Consolidated 1776 says airlines are going to shut down for April. Totally. Wow.
Is that a thing or a rumor thing?
Not. They're not doing many flights. I mean, I've heard reports of flights going with like 10 people on them and stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just like almost.
I mean, which would be kind of like awesome and eerie at the same time. It's like, oh, hey, I got this. I ain't got this fat guy sitting up in front of me with his recliner all the way back with the tray jamming into my knees. I ain't got this spastic 3-year-old that this woman has in her lap kicking my seat.
Except that there's 1 out of 13 people maintaining it right now.
I like those odds.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's tough to.
Fouls.
Sex bots don't cook or clean, but they also don't talk back. It's true.
Until they do. In which case, you get a pissed off TX robot coming for you. And she knows exactly where to hurt you.
It's kind of like a roommate. They don't cook, they don't clean, they don't talk.
Keep it to myself. I'm not into sex bots. It's just a question.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Right.
Sure, George. you keep telling yourself that.
Turns out George Cortez lives right next door to Texas Sex Bots LLC or whatever.
No, it's a text bot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, text bot. There you go.
And little do you know, he's actually their lead quality coordinator.
That's the sex bot that smells like poop.
Expert. Yeah.
No, it's a sex bot that smells like Texas.
He goes back over there.
Oh, that's Brownsville.
Throws one through the front door. This one smells like shit. I don't want it. I want a new one. I want a refund. It's poop again. He called this shit poop.
It's far from pooping.
They have to keep telling them, George, that's an actual person. That's actually Claire. He's our new intern.
More one of those turn one of those robots into a waffle eating donkey.
Bleeding donkey. I believe you can run. I believe I can dance again.
I win the internet.
Real Asians are more affordable. 7, are you running some kind of heretofore known quasi-legal gray market Asian woman exporium through your basement that we are not aware of? 7?
That sounds like a donkey eating a waffle. Sounds like one of those real old Southern sayings that nobody understands, nobody knows what it means, and nobody knows where it came from. That boy like a donkey eating a waffle.
But it's
a donkey eating a waffle.
Mm-hmm.
Like a donkey eating a waffle.
But somehow you know
it'll make a.
What do you say, G?
That's old. That saying is steeped in old time tradition.
And you better believe Sarge, he has the bib overalls to prove his credentials.
Don't make me go get them.
That'll make a monkey hug a hound dog.
Yeah.
No,
Like
don't hug hound dogs.
waffle.
They can be mean.
I'm a hound
Donkey
dog.
eating a waffle. I mean, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times.
Said what? Donkey eating a waffle?
There you go.
Well, 7, if I don't know, how come you keep sending me flyers?
You win the
internet. I mean, I called your 1-900 number, but that Ray model you had on special was already sold out. What the hell?
You got those windshield wiper flyers with the waffle.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how he managed to do it, but somehow a paper airplane came and jabbed me in the eye, and I opened it up, and it was this note from 7.
Right in the brown eye.
Not that eye. I know my eyes are brown. I mean, I'm full of shit, but how can you tell my eyes are brown?
Everyone's saying.
Not that one.
You should. Let's see how. Now, here's the thing. There's been many things originated on this show. Lots of nicknames and lots of funny things. I wonder how long a donkey eating a waffle is going to last. Do you think it'll last a week, 2 weeks?
I don't know if I'm
going to show up on first.
If I remember to wake up at the appropriate time and get on Matt's chat, I'll find something to get annoyed about and say, no, that doesn't make any damn sense. I mean, that's like a donkey eating a waffle. Just don't make no goddamn sense.
Damn, this goddamn Governor Newsom's these guy's worse than a donkey eating a waffle.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, son bitch. Oh, son bitch.
Goddamn head was in
I
it.
can hear it already. I can hear it already. In like 2 or 3 days, Yankees chat, we're gonna hear him saying, "The fuck is everybody talking about a donkey eating a waffle for? What are you talking about?"
All right, so I already typed it into the Google, and it exists, and it is from Shrek. It says something like, "I'm making waffles." So he must have. Is that something he says in a movie?
I don't know.
Do you know where it actually started? It was an old SNL skit with Ray Romano, and he had the worst sayings. He was a sportscaster, and he's talking about somebody going to the hoop like a donkey eating a waffle, something like that.
That's it. That's funny. Donkey waffle eater. 7 Wonders will. Oh. Asuka or Ray? Oh, you guys are talking about buying robots?
Once again,
All
this
right.
third awkward silence is brought to you by the cool and refreshing taste of 98% Corona-free Diet Beef Soda Zero.
I'm more tired than donkey eating a waffle. So let's
Covered with
cut it
peanut
off
butter.
here. Yeah.
Ouch.
This chat's stinkier than Yankees Roomba. Black actually. It's definitely time to go.
Oh shit, Black Cat.
Black Cat asking that question and it don't make no sense. I mean, you're too late. It's like the donkey trying to eat the waffle. The waffle's already gone, and the donkey's goddamn hungry. So all it's got left is the peanut butter he eats. So it just don't make no sense to get it to eat the peanut butter waffle.
I'll bet my bile duck that he's watching this on his shitter.
Probably just got up, just woke up.
Oh yeah, he's pinching one off right now.
So, speaking of cutting it short and pinching it off, there's one tradition we've started here that I have yet to ask. Moo!
Oh,
how unsober are you tonight?
I'm not too bad. I've been working my ass off, buddy. Trying to get ready for the move.
So does that mean that your exercise mean that your exercise is counteracting the amount of alcohol you've drank, or you've cut down the amount of alcohol you've drunk?
I'm not so sure I can answer that.
Yeah, that.
Here's a question for Black Cat.
Glib.
Black Cat, have they?
Yeah, what he said.
A question for Black Cat. Have they? They haven't canceled our June rally yet, have they?
Oh, the June 8th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chime in, Black Cat.
Every rip has been canceled.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was far enough out that they were still trying to hold on to it or not. You know. I'll just go stand there by myself then.
I'll be there.
Are you saying in June? I would still plan on it. I mean, they could still happen, but nobody's planning nothing at this point, right?
Yeah.
If you're there and I'm there, we could be the double O.
There you go.
Well, there you go. Now, Moo and Midnight, all you have to remember to do is bring 2 or 3 yardsticks with you and just tape them to your belt. So they're sticking out. That way you can be sure you're 6 feet apart from any person at a time.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't walk around with the yardstick? I know, certainly not you.
Yeah.
I mean, if that video you showed me was any indication.
Those big hoop skirts are going to get a comeback. Everybody's going to wear them hoop skirts, and that way you keep distance.
And there you go. That's going to be the real boom to the economy. It's because all those hoop skirts. It's going to take months and months for big manufacturers to get up and running to make their cheap mass-produced hoop skirts.
Those are all made of whale bones, so you got to start killing a bunch of whales.
Nah, I think you can do it with. I think you can get away with doing it with PVC pipe. So there you go, all you Hondas out there who are complaining that you're out of work right now. Take this opportunity, go and bit yourself as much of the 1/4-inch PVC pipe as you can, and start making skeletons for hoop skirts. I guarantee that you will. Go ahead.
I prefer the whale bones.
Well, then go to Japan. I'm sure Seven can get you a flight to Japan and get you all the whale bones you need.
Not anymore.
Is that on the way back, you're going to have all kinds of empty seats. You can bring back a whole pile of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dolphin bones, shark bones.
Yeah, I bet you
fit
those
in the
bastards
overhead.
would still charge you. I bet you those bastards would still charge you extra, even though the plane's half empty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Can I just put it in the seat beside me? No, that's another $50.
Well, but ma'am, this is my 3-year or my 2-month-old child, Boney, Kelsey, son.
Calcium son. Yeah. All right. This donkey's
still trying to
getting
end
tired. Too many waffles.
This donkey's getting tired trying to lick the peanut butter off his waffle.
More tired than a donkey eating waffle. You guys got anything to plug? Anything going on this week?
Nope.
Snarge, you got anything? Oh, he gone. He went dark on us.
He's gonna be detaining somebody.
He got a phone call. He's Mr. Important with his cellular telephone.
George says it's weird seeing the mall closed, no cars parked around the mall. Yeah, that is weird when you see like parking lots like that empty.
Well,
for sure.
The mall?
How would you know that?
The malls have been empty for a while, like maybe strip centers, but not the malls.
No, well, not empty. They've definitely been declining. I mean, you've had like your anchor malls that are like, oh, hey, it's this big mall. Then, like your strip malls. I don't know, like the what are they called? Like the discount or outlet stores and that. Those are still doing a fairly decent trade.
Well, in the before times. I mean, obviously right now.
In the before times, before the Corona-chan came and whooped all our asses.
Corona-chan. Yeah, I know there's still 30-something watching. I will, depending on what happens this week, if there's any days that nobody goes late, maybe I'll try and do a little fill-in show or something like that. Visit your local park squirrels. There you go.
Chicken of the trees.
I got to get up super early, and I got a long day, so I'm trying and get a little bit of sleep here. I still got to do a couple things.
I got to get up.
Bed. I got some laundry.
I got to get up at 9.
I got to get up at 11.
I got to be out of the house at.
I don't have to go to work
I got to be
tomorrow.
out of the house at like 8:45.
I don't have to go to work for 2 days.
7:30. So.
If you guys don't want
If
you don't want to hunt for squirrels, or you're worried about shooting up into trees because of being in a park or whatever, you can just take a waffle and a string and then like a baseball bat, hang it from one of the trees, and then eventually a donkey will come up and smack it with a baseball bat.
I love me a little donkey steaks.
That's crazier than a donkey pinata in a waffle.
Gee, are you suggesting that we go around and donkey punch donkeys?
Yep.
Baseball bat.
That excuse is like a donkey.
I mean,
that excuse is worse than a donkey eating a waffle.
I mean, I had a great uncle who was into that, but he got kicked in the head, and he didn't do that no more.
Sarge, you should turn your phone on, videotape it, and next time your wife walks through the house, be like, you looking finer than a donkey eating a waffle. Let's see what she says back.
That works out for me.
That will drop panties like a mofo.
No, I think Sarge will drop. I think Sarge will get dropped faster than that glove. I mean, that thud you hear isn't Sarge hitting the floor. It's the sonic boom of him hitting the floor.
We'll hear. We'll see the camera go. The camera will go black, and 9 months later, Sarge we're going to be getting little cigars sent to us again. He's going to be a daddy.
Little baby snark.
That's finer than a donkey eating a waffle. Little baby mustache coming out. Everything. Damn.
Well, there you go. You're going to have Sarge Jr. Nerf shooter.
There you go. Our squirrels don't have any garbage to forage from, so food gets surrounded by squirrels.
Now,
that's a pretty good one right there, 7.
Now, Guy, is it like that?
Pony Soldier.
Guy, is that like the scene from that remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where it's just the squirrels surrounded, and all of a sudden there's like 1,000 squirrels, and you realize that you're not the top of the food chain at the moment?
It's like a dog-faced pony soldier eating spaghetti.
And a waffle.
I wonder if that girl that he said that to ever made any kind of statements. I'm sure she did. I felt bad for her. That's a hell of a thing to call a young lady, a young woman, or
it's a hell of a thing to call anybody.
What a dickhead!
Is that a thing from Trump?
No, it's from Crazy Uncle Joe.
Biden said that to a woman who questioned him on something. I don't remember what she called him out on. She called her a law.
Asked him about his poor showing in the Iowa caucus. Why did he think he was best to lead the Democratic Party, or something like that?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and he said to her, "Have you ever been to a caucus before?" And she said yes. And he said, "You're lying, dog-faced pony soldier."
Yeah,
because I have.
He said it to her face, not like about her.
No, he said
it was to her face.
Yeah, just like that.
Oh,
like you said to that auto worker, "You're full of shit."
Well, exactly. But that was bad, unscrupulous people. It's not like when Trump said something 30 years ago and that's focused on, and this is not focused on. That's not bias.
No.
Yeah. So Colin.
He put it. He put it all in. Put it all in. He's like, "Have you ever been to a caucus?"
I didn't know what it was. I've seen that dog-faced pony soldier. I just assumed Trump said it.
No. I don't think Trump is capable of putting those kind of words together. That's just like crazy dead person.
Now, does this have anything to do with the lady? Like, is she a soldier or anything? Like, does it have anything to do with her? Was she standing?
No, the whole overanalyzing of this is, well, first, like Biden's people came out and says, "Oh, he was just like referencing a line in the movie he'd seen in like 1910, and he was just trying to be funny or that." But they went through it, and it's like a combination of like 3 or 4 different movies. One was like 2 of them were like John Wayne movies. Another one was like a real obscure thing where it was just this whole weird, Joe's clockwork has stopped turning. The neurons are just like grabbing little random bits of information from wherever they can find it.
His dish needs to be defragged.
Mm-hmm. My wife would have knocked him on the ass, and she's 4'11" and 99/100th tall. 7, are you talking about your cat or Crazy Joe? Now, Pew Pew Park in the thing had said it was surreal walking through a casino with nobody in it with all the lights on. I'm trying to remember, Pew Pew, are you doing security for a casino? Because I know all the,
he's
half
doing
dozen
theft. He's stealing shit.
He's trying to pull an Ocean's 11, but like on easy mode.
Yeah.
Ocean's 1.
Yeah. Ocean's 0.5, the prequel.
So I just watched it for the first time, I guess. And then what are all those ladies like? Yeah! Like, what's up with that? Asshole.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
This young chick next to us, where does she have the balls to question you? Like, how dare she?
Yeah, what an insensitive thing to say to a woman, right? I mean,
and then the ladies just laugh and cheer him on and like, yay, he said, can't believe he said it. Right on. Like, what a bunch of cool people.
They didn't even know what happened. They were just, no, he couldn't have said that. I had heard something different. I mean,
Well, I would think if your normal reaction would to look like you just smelled a fart, right? Like, what? Young girls saying it. Like, those ladies next to her would have been their grandparents. Like, you'd think their reaction would have been like, what did you just say to that girl standing next to us? Old man with millions of dollars?
You're a lion dog faced pony soldier. You don't know. You didn't do it or something. Yeah, it's crazy.
A joke. It was
You've never been to a convention before.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Uh-oh.
So,
ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let's get.
It is the Edge.
Oh, geez, Edge, we're getting out of here, bro.
Shit, Edge is here.
I'm closing it up. You can be here for the last.
At least the live portion.
Does he have his
Pony show?
Does he know where
Edge,
he is?
do you have your sound on?
You look lost, buddy.
Edge, are you too close to the edge? Did you fall into the dumpster from the edge? Does he even know he clicked the link?
He's on a boat.
Well, good.
Something's going on.
If you haven't set up your stuff,
He's been
you don't know.
he's been hitting Moo's refrigerator a little bit too much, I think.
Oh,
Come on,
he
man.
must been-
The duck just
Oh,
takes you.
there he is.
doing some 20-ounce moo curls.
all
And
right.
he's raiding Moo's
So-
fridge. A 40
Sarge,
at a
you got
time.
anything? You got anything going on this week? You
Who, me?
looking forward to anything? You said you were
Me?
going to shoot.
I filmed the makings of 3 videos today, and I got a couple more comparisons to do tomorrow. I'm actually going to take advantage of some range time and get some videos done.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very cool.
that's
Moo,
it.
you're moving. Glim Tech, you got anything going on?
Whole lot of nothing until next weekend,
Yeah.
other than hopefully
Um,
selling guns and selling ammo. Other than that, that's about it.
Yeah.
He's trying to find my refrigerator.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there!
He's
No,
running?
he's actually carrying out your back door. You better go grab him.
Oh, your refrigerator's running? That's sad to hear.
Could catch it.
You better catch it. I got Prince Albert in the can.
Shoot it! Shoot it!
It was coming right at us.
G, you got anything coming up?
Yeah, just a bunch of stuff. Thanks for the invite. I'm looking it up here, and I guess it comes from a John Wayne movie. Doesn't reference which.
Well, they say it's partially from a John Wayne movie, but it's like, I don't remember. I did hear the story about where they think it came from, and it sounds like maybe he even butchered it up a little bit. But yeah,
They just made it up to cover it up because he was an idiot.
Yeah,
So they're
Yeah.
trying to make an
I haven't
excuse
seen
for it.
every John Wayne movie, but I know there's 179 instances of John Wayne on IMDb, and I was watching as many as I could get a hold of, and it doesn't make sense that there's not a script to every movie on the internet, and they couldn't get that line, even if they hadn't seen the movie, It doesn't make sense.
yeah.
So they're just saying it probably is one of John Wayne's movies. What kind of news is that?
Well, no,
Yeah.
like we were saying, it's like he took 2 or 3 different phrases from a couple of movies and like kind of smushed them all together.
Mhm.
That's kind of how the men.
Pony
Go ahead.
Soldier speaks with the tongue of the snake that rattles. Like, come on. Nobody accidentally says that thinking of that line in 2020. It was a
Well,
movie.
no, that's how mental degeneration goes. It's
Oh, no, you're right. It's a sign of that.
yeah. And AC, yes, we see you there in the chat, and YouTube has been doing this kind of fuckery for at least ever since. It's really started to pick up once they announced, hey, we're just gonna let Al Gore's rhythm kind of run rampant. We're not taking any calls or doing any human reviews. So maybe this is algorithm turning into Skynet.
I will be doing a tutorial on pimping from your house, because pimping from
There you go.
the street is now technically unsolvable. But pimping from your house, I will do a series of videos on the Edge 4006 channel.
And as we know, pimping, even in the best of times, ain't easy.
Pimping, been
Yes.
pimping since pimping's been pimping.
Mm-hmm. It is what it is. It's tough. All right, Denny. Let's get out of here. Thanks for everybody watching. Ape, you want to take us out here?
Well,
what is that?
no, I mean, Ed, is that you?
Super loud.
Is that me?
You got real loud to me. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. One of the guys in there said it was loud, but I'm the only one here that I'm seeing that has like a green by their little bar there. But anyway,
follow my coronaviruses.
Shameless self-promotions and technical difficulties aside, ladies, gentlemen, Jonas of all ages, thank you for watching Midnight Range TM's The Closer. Please be sure to check your actual subscriptions and not just your subscription feed, since YouTube is up to its regular fuckery. This concludes our regularly scheduled programming, but we'll be back later for shows eventually. Keep an ear out for Black Cat Outdoors beer chats whenever they let them out of the little short bus for moving trucks around the yard. The Gun Channel's community Monday night programming at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's hasty headlines with never enough ammo. Get your fill of news, commentary, and weird-ass rants. At 7 p.m. Eastern, it's the Polite Society podcast on Facebook and Travis P11, King Travi himself, Caliber Corner on YouTube. At 8 p.m. Eastern, it's MOA Monday, only on Instagram with CloverTac. And Hawaii Volcano Squad's Locked and Loaded on YouTube. At 9 p.m. Eastern, it's Never Enough Ammo, a.k.a. Mr. Matt's Guns and Geek podcast, The Week in Geek, one of our tentpole shows there. At 10 p.m. Eastern, whenever they decide to do it again, if they're ever doing one ever more, it's intentionally left blank at 10 p.m. And every weeknight at midnight Eastern, it's the Daily Gun Show. Check out GunTube.org as a free and unrestricted Pro2A video platform. If you like what you see, go over to Patreon and throw them a couple dollars. For less than the price of a single ply of toilet paper a day, you can help keep this independent platform free from overbearing commercial censorship. For cool and unique 2A swag like any of these patches you see here on this wonderful panel being guarded by Robbie the Robot and Mr. Knives, go over to gearwebsites.com. That's gearwebsites.com for cool and unique 2A patches. And remember, a lot of crazy shit's going on. Don't panic. Be nice. And just keep an eye out for stuff. Don't panic that the National Guard is moving tanks and knocking on your door.
Indeed.
And remember,
thanks for watching. Until
remember, if you're eating street fudge, to give it a little spritz of alcohol first.
True. Yeah, always dip your street fudge in at least 92% alcohol. That's good for you.
I don't even eat street fudge anymore because I'm afraid somebody coughed on it.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
And remember, you take your guns out of your safe and you put your TP in the safe now.
Yeah, you don't want anybody stealing your TP. Well, you definitely need the guns to defend it too, so that's a good thing to have them in there. So until next time, keep your TP safe. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.